What is a hero? A ray of light in the darkness. A guardian in a moment of need. A savior made perfect by and for the people. We live in a world where heroes are forged by trust. You have the power to create heroes.
In a world where heroes are created according to the faith people place in them, the hero that people believe in most earns the title X.
This is a world that needs heroes. Everyone in it can become a hero. And everyone in it could be him. Hero X.
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam, Samster299, and I got another discussion video for y'all. This time, wanted to talk about a little show that came out in spring 2025 called To Be Hero X. And I'm not alone for this. I got my colleague at Toonami Squad, the other Sam, SC Universe.
Hello.
I got another Toonami Squad colleague, Steve.
What up?
And I have Sketch from Toonami Faithful.
I am here. Wait, wrong hero show.
But yeah, so like this just kind of like came off the cusp because like when everyone's different, but like when seasonal anime come out, I typically just tend to look at like a list of like, okay, what are the shows that are coming out? And typically I'll like look at what's returning, like say for example My Hero, Fire Force, all that. Obviously add those to my list, but and sometimes I'll add some new shows in there. But I really heard nothing about To Be Hero X, and I guess I'll like start with like first impression, but like because at the time I was just watching some of the seasonal anime. I forgot what I was watching at the time, but then I saw like on Twitter just a screen cap of To Be Hero X, and it was just like one of the 2D scenes, and this was just the day after episode 1 dropped, and I'm like, why not? Let me check out To Be Hero X, I guess. And then the first scene plays, and keep in mind I knew nothing about it, and then just like it starts with 2D, and I'm thinking this is a typical anime, and then here comes this 3D model, and I'm like, wait, is this a CG show? Is this 3D? Because it's like the past shows that I've watched that had CG in it have not been stellar. Ninja Kamui or Blade Runner. So I was just like, okay. And then like the other thing that not weirded me out, but like made me feel a little off was that, hold on, this guy, his name is Lin Ling. I think his boss is named Mr. Chang, and I'm like, is this a Chinese show? Like, because I heard like nothing about this, and then for like over halfway into the episodes, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm feeling about this. But then like the end of that episode, when he fought like Mr. Chang in the machine and all that, and the animation was just going insane, and I was like, oh my god, okay, I think I'm starting to see it now. And then we get to the cliffhanger of that first episode, and immediately I'm like, whoa, like it is not that often that a show within its first episode grabs me the way this show did. And then at the time I did a bit of research, because it's like I literally knew nothing about this. The To Be Hero X, it's actually the third installation of a To Be Hero series, but the other two shows have like absolutely nothing to do with this. Like I looked them up, they're like gag shows, but yeah. And so it's like, it's amazing how you start a series that originated as like comedy gags, and immediately shift to this like drama, like action, like insanely gorgeous show. But yeah, like that was like the first episode. And also like because it also kind of got me started on a bit of looking at some other donghua. That's what they're called, donghua, like like Chinese shows. I recently checked out Link Click. That's also really good. And at the time, I'm just thinking, damn, who knew China could cook this hard? But yeah, I guess that was like my first impressions at the time. What about you, Sam?
So you made me aware. Well, I knew about the show.
I made you
previously.
guys aware because I was talking in our Discord, and I'm like, whoa, that like insane first episode. Because it's like, you Sketch, you probably don't know this, but like whenever we watch a seasonal anime, typically in our Discord, like say for example, My Hero Academia, when a new episode drops, one of us will be like My Hero good, or like say To Be Hero X good, like Fire Force good. Like we just say good. But like sometimes there are some shows with some insane episodes that like instead of good will just be like To Be Hero X, holy shit, or like My Hero Academia amazing or something like that.
And the Dawn. Oh my god.
I do. I think I started it. Yeah, I did start that.
Yeah, and the thing with To Be Hero.
I remember I started that because of people were talking spoilers too much before anyone's seen it. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Good.
So
I started it as a way to avoid spoilers.
And then it's funny because when it came to To Be Hero X, a lot of our reactions would be, "You can't keep getting away with this."
A little scene from like Breaking Bad.
You can't keep getting away with this. But yeah, go on, Sam.
So yeah, you made me aware of the show. I was aware of it beforehand, but I didn't check it out until about 4 or 5 weeks in, because I was kind of busy with a bunch of other things at the time. I think I might have been watching Yaiba and a few of the other spring shows that caught my attention. I really, really dug it. And that was just me binging like the first 4 or 5 episodes. And I was just like, holy crap. After like the first batch of episodes that I saw, I was just like, okay, I'll continue this because this might be a show that I'll stick with until the very end. And yeah, I stuck with the show to the very end. This show is fantastic. We'll get more into that later, but I think for my initial impressions, I don't really sit down and watch a lot of Chinese animated shows. So my initial thought and impression of this by itself is that it's great.
All right. Steve, what was your impression when the show started?
Well, I actually didn't have it on my radar at all. Originally, it wasn't really on my list of shows to watch for the season, but I remember you telling me about the first episode that, hey, it might be worth checking out. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll give it a shot. And at first I'm like, all right, not quite feeling it after the first episode, but I'll keep it going. But yeah, 4 episodes later, I'm like, all right, I'm in, I'm hooked. This has potentially something to be special. And fast forward to now, we're talking about it as possibly my favorite anime of the year, or the best I've watched.
Yeah, it's really up there for me as well. Like, I it was something that I knew about, but didn't really have on my radar. And then after sitting down and watching it week after week after week of it airing, I'm just like, this show is probably one of the best shows of the year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very, very, like, I know we'll go into a little more detail about it later though, but very impressed, and Sam, I'm very glad you put me onto this.
Same.
I was literally like, because we just kept talking about it so much, we even made like a special thread in our Discord, and I'm just like, I literally just brought up the idea. I was like, what would you guys want to do a discussion about this? Because it's like, the thing is like, because we only do podcasts like with Toonami and like, Toonami stuff. The problem with this, the show is owned by Crunchyroll. And
yes, the good old Crunchyroll overlords.
and a Crunchyroll show airing on Toonami in the year of our Lord 2025? Get out. So, like, that's when I just had the idea to, do it like I did with Lord of the Rings. But yes, and Sketch, I know, like, I brought up the show to you. You didn't see it until I told you about it, but how are you feeling on it?
Well, to be more accurate, I didn't watch most of it until you told me about it. I'm trying to remember if Duelist and I just kind of heard good things and decided to check it out, or if it was because of Giguk's spring video when he brought it up. Now, I'd actually seen all of the original 2B Hero,
Really?
which was a very weird show.
I saw like some
Logan
clips
has
of
told me
it.
things about it.
It is literally like you would not expect like 2B Hero X in the same universe. I wouldn't say it's the same universe, probably not, but like you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, it's
like,
a wildly different show, and To Be Heroine also was quite a bit different. I didn't watch much of that, but I did see some of it. So my expectation of 2B Hero X was, oh, so it's going to be another kind of weird hero show, and it is, but it's so much better. I mean, it's apples and oranges, but like this is a really well crafted show, and definitely more approachable than either of those two were. So when I checked out the first episode with Duelist, I was like, oh, that's cool. I heard that the art style of the CG was fairly reminiscent of Arcane. I was like, yeah, it kind of looks like they're aping Arcane, and why
I almost
you?
thought it was the same Arcane studio, and then I learned no, it's Studio B Dream. That's the name of the studio.
Yeah. Impressive that they were able to do that in probably far less time than it took to animate any amount of Arcane did. So they did that, and then the 2D in the Nice arc was really reminiscent of like Danganronpa or The World Ends With You, and I was like, this, it's cool that they're doing two different styles, but I don't necessarily love this. I like some of the other 2D better, but we'll get to that. And so my initial impression was like, okay, this is an interesting concept for a superhero show where people develop powers through trust, and essentially you can fake it till you make it. And that poses a very different scenario than, say, My Hero Academia, where people are born that way, or even Tiger and Bunny, where people are born that way, and it's more like X-Men because there's not that many of them.
I think I heard a great comparison when the show began, is that it's kind of like a mixture between The Boys and Black Mirror.
Yeah, I see that.
It's funny, when the show dropped, I heard like two different nicknames. One was My Chinese Academia.
I love that title.
And the other was called My Hero Social Media.
That one's also good.
That's so good.
I like that one better. I think that's more indicative of exactly, because this is so different from My Hero Academia in every way, because it doesn't focus on one character or just a few characters. It's an ensemble, it's an anthology. Mm-hmm. So it's a way different vibe, and in that way it's kind of hard to compare. But yeah, my initial impression was, wow, this is really good. People were right, this is really good. So then I ended up watching I think the first 5 episodes at the time were out. So we watched the first 5 episodes, and I was like, oh, well, this is actually starting another guy's story, so I guess I could pause for a moment.
Yeah, it's funny because like after the bombshell of episode 4 with what happened with Moon, and then the next episode we just focus on someone else, I'm like, go back to what was that? Why'd
I
you
was
end
very
it there?
taken aback. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you,
like, it
and you
kinda
know
came out of
what?
left fields.
They kind of really didn't ever go back to that.
Nope.
No, they did not.
You realize who the character is eventually, even though they're kind of blurry. But yeah, it leaves so many questions. So actually, I only saw the first 4 episodes initially, and then realized, oh, the next episode is not anything related to what we just saw, really. So we could take a break, and then we got back to it, and we watched the first episode of that arc, and then we took another break, and then Sam was like, hey, well, we're doing this podcast. Like, I got a lot of catching up to do. I don't know if I can do it that fast. Evidently, I could, because Duelist and I just burned through the rest of this show.
I mean, you're lucky that I delayed it too.
I actually would have been ready by Friday, but then I would have had to make other plans on Friday. And
also, I was kind of in the West Coast at that time, so I couldn't make it anyway.
Yeah, I was in the middle of moving rooms, and I thought I would have been done by Friday, but then
my dumbass took a 3-day trip to Portland to see my team lose.
I was tired.
Nice.
But yeah, it's also just kind of funny because I recently saw Gigic's video. This was an older video. It was on my recommended feed where he talked about link click, and that was like 2021. And in that video, he said this could be the gateway for Chinese animation. And I'm just thinking, I've never heard of link click until this year. So I'm pretty sure at this point, To Be Hero X, you could consider the gateway to Chinese animation.
Probably more so, but I did watch Link Click before.
I actually binged all of its episodes, like at the time of this, and thank God I did, because it's got another season next year, and I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, but we're not talking about Link Click. We're talking about To Be Hero X, and yeah, so I guess we should actually. Well, one other thing I wanted to bring up just before we dive into it was that Steve, I got to thank you for this one, because this show, Bilibili, that's the distributor, in China. That's a streaming service in China. They were going all out. They had a whole hero ranking system. Yeah. They had, and the most useful thing was they put out a graph of all the episodes and which episodes are going to be focused on who. So first 4 episodes are Nice, then the next 3 are Esoul, and then Lucky Science. So that gave us a good indicator of
very much helped with actually watching it and kind of knowing what to expect.
The funny thing is that in that graph there was a mystery episode, and we were looking at that ooh, why is there question marks on that one, which we'll get to. Yeah. And I also just want to say, because clearly the show has been in the oven for years, because not recently, as the show was going on, I came across a 6-minute pilot video uploaded in 2023, which was 6 minutes of you see this mystery man, who we later learn is Hero X, just absolutely flexing on these goons. Which is actually kind of important, because the events of that are referenced in the show. I'm surprised they didn't just straight up put that in the show. They kind of did, but they told it from Ahu's perspective. Seeing that pilot, and then I'm just ooh, okay. But anyway, so enough with the first impressions. Let's actually get on with it. So we're gonna go in order of each of the heroes from chronologically. So we're going to start with Mr. 69 himself, Nice. A.K.A. Lin Ling, which I know, Steve, he's your guy. Well, he was. But Lin Ling. So, so the first episode, we get introduced to this dude who's just trying to sell a marketing. He works for Nice's agency, I think it was, or advertising firm, and his boss don't like his pitch, and then immediately he already sent the pitch to the higher ups, and the boss didn't like that, so guess what, you're fired. and he's ready to end it all, basically. But before he could end it all, who shows up? Nice. And yeah, this was what, yet again, at the time, taking me aback. I'm like, oh shit, he just pissed off his boss. Well, not his boss, but the guy he works for. And I'm like, what's he gonna do? And he fell off the building? What just happened? Like, and this is like one of the biggest questions that we've had, which wouldn't even get answered until like near the end. Why did Nice jump? But we'll actually focus on Nice later. But this is Lin Ling, so like, then they see his Nice is dead, and they're like, what the hell do we do? And then his assistant, Miss J, which dear Lord, Miss J, ma'am, that's all I gotta say. But yeah, so then Miss J shows
Stephanie Young.
Yes, which also, like, so Sam and I know you did too, Sketch, saw it in English dub, because this show had a same-day English dub. I know, Steve, you chose to watch it in Japanese.
Kind of just defaulted to it. It's like, I'm too lazy to change it now.
Yeah, Nice and Ling Ling, both of them, their voice, I'm gonna butcher his name, I don't even know, Mauricio Ortega? I gotta look up his name, but I know his first name's Mauricio. I don't know his other roles that he's done. Like, I'm terrible. I don't have the.
He was in the recent My Hero movie as the butler cyborg.
Oh, he was.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he plays Lin Ling and Nice, and yeah. So then they're like wondering, what do we do when, like, and then paint bucket splashes on him, and I'm like, hey, doesn't he kind of look like Nice? And then here we go, where all of a sudden masquerading.
He looks nice enough.
Oh my god.
And the funny thing is that at the time I'm thinking, well, this show's just about, like, keep in mind, I knew nothing about this, so at the time I'm just thinking, oh, the show is about this guy trying to masquerade as this other hero, and it's probably going to come back to bite him in the ass or something. But anyway, then we fast forward to a love game show, and Ling Ling is a simp for Moon. And he just got put in the best position he ever had, or at least he thinks, because then, like, they get taken to this love game show, and immediately the host is replaced with I know his name, like, it was like, oh, Enlighter. His name is Enlighter, like the eye.
What a name!
Very on the nose for that name.
Is he voiced by Todd Haberkorn?
I
No.
believe so. Oh, really? Okay.
I thought he was Todd Haberkorn.
Sounded like him.
No, it's why is his name escaping me?
He sounded a lot like him, but he plays Enlighter, and his whole thing is essentially, I'm gonna expose your lies, and then they just start asking him these questions, and it's funny because it's like, how many promo ads has Moon had in the past year or something? It's like, how is he supposed to know this? And then he goes up and answers, like, I don't know the answer. It was like 1,100 something, or like, that's correct. And
This is the I Love Moon show, and he has all the answers.
I don't know whether to be impressed or to be scared.
And then
both.
So
And
yeah,
If he wasn't like a stand-up guy, he'd totally be a stalker.
yeah.
and then he puts that lie detector on him, and he's like, "Is Moon your girlfriend?" He's like, "She's not my girlfriend." He's telling the truth. She's my goddess. He's also telling the truth.
Maximum
Okay, that was actually
simp
kind of
level.
I was
Lighter-
literally like, the power of simping when saves the day.
It's Landon
and then-
McDonald, who's Enlightener, who has
Landon McDonald?
stood
Seriously?
in for Vic Mignogna, but he's also a very good stand-in for Todd Haberkorn.
I didn't know that was Landon McDonald. That like isn't he also Akaza in Demon Slayer?
No, that
No.
Oh, that no. Oh, wait, no.
that's Lucian Dodge. Landon McDonald was another demon in
he's
Mugen Train.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
Enmu. He's also Mahito in Jujutsu Kaisen. But anyway, so yeah, and then here comes Mr. Chang in some like robot form. I think it was like what he ended up getting fired or something. And I forgot the whole thing. He ended up getting fired, and like, and then you drove his worker Ling Ling to suicide. And he's like,
Yeah, like you actually care.
And then looking back on it, because you see Mr. Chang in that outfit, and for some reason he's really strong, and he's got like this black aura around him. And at the time, I'm like wondering what that was, and well, thinking about it now, it's fear, and they go more into fear later. But then we get our first action sequence, and I'm like, literally, that's when the show grabbed me, because I was immediately like, whoa, like that's insane that they did that. Like, and then they deal with him, and then talk about a way to hook me in the first episode, because then we get taken to his room on the hero floor, and he's on his bed, and then he notices Moon's next to him, and it's like, oh no, let me step away, and then is she there's blood on her face, and holy shit, I think she's dead. And that's literally how the episode ends. And I was immediately like, wait, that is a strong way to get me hooked on this show.
Yeah,
and then
when we get to like the ending of the first story arc of the show, it actually kind of concludes in a way where it's kind of like it leaves you on a cliffhanger, and then it kind of anticipates the audience to kind of keep with it. But then, like when you get into the next arc, which is about Isol, it's kind of a bait and switch type of thing, where it's like, we're not going back to that story ever again. That story is closed, it's done, it's over with. We told it in like a condensed 4-episode run. And I think for what they managed to accomplish with Nice's storyline, it actually is pretty tightly knit, where it's like, it's all killer, no filler, where they tell the story that they want to tell, and then they finish it by leaving the audience with questions that later get answered by the end of the series.
Yeah, like I wanted to go.
Not all of them.
Well, yeah.
Nope, we still got some.
I wanted to go in detail on the first episode, but I'm not going to go like as hard as I did with the rest of them. But then I also really quickly want to bring up, because then this is when the opening played, and my God, guys, like at this moment, this is probably the best like opening of 2025 for me. Inertia, Hiroyuki Sawano, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be my most played track when I get my year in review. I don't want to say Spotify Wrapped because I use iTunes, but they have something similar. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be like my number one played song, because it's literally like it's like
a great
feeling
opening.
my inertia. Like, oh my god, the whole soundtrack. Like I want to bring this up real quick because I don't know where I'll fit it later. But the soundtrack of the show, Jesus Christ, like this show has like over 10 like insert songs. Like each hero has their own musical theme to it, and then we got Lucky Cyan, who's literally an idol, and she has a whole array of stuff. And I'm just like a lot of the songs are on my playlist now, like because they're that good. Jeopardy, which is like the song that plays over every like hype moment the show has, and I'm just freaking like I have so many of these. They actually dropped the official soundtrack today, like the entirety of it, and I've just been pulling up a few of those songs on my playlist. I actually also recently ordered the Japanese like CD set from PlayAsia, because I wanted to get something of this show, and I wanted to go for the Blu-rays, but those are going to be insanely expensive. So I'm like, you know what, CD, I'll get the CD because that's within my budget. But anyway, but yeah, so then just moving on with Ling Ling, I'm not going to dive into each episode like I did the first one, because then it turns out like Moon's fine next episode, like okay, and we actually get to see the real Moon, and oh lord, the real Moon. And this is also an episode where you really start to see how like the hero society in this world works, because like it's all fake. It's like celebrity stuff. Like it's all fake. Like they, Nice and Moon were only contractually dating. And you also kind of learn that like trust value is kind of cool, but it also has its downsides. Because in the case of Moon, she has the power to teleport, but because people believe that her and Nice must be together at all times, she can only teleport to Nice. Later, you see Firm Man, who his whole thing is he stands firm, and he literally cannot bend his knee. And you see
Bro
that
gotta sleep standing up.
he goes to sleep standing up. He can't take a shit. It's so sad. Oh my god. But yeah, like you go to Moon and like she wants her freedom, and the hero thing is like, well, you guys are gonna get married and all that. And I just find it funny because she's like, oh, you want to see the real moon? I'll show you the real moon. And immediately Ling's like, wow, she's not at all what I imagined she'd be. She's even better. It's just like she's like too bad this show hasn't aired on Toonami, because we would have had Andre tweet this.
Oh, Lord.
But yeah, so then they find a way to, hey, if Moon wants her freedom, let's fake her death. And yeah, so, and then we get like another scene where they stage like, oh, his arch nemesis coming to crash the wedding. And at first it's like supposed to be all staged, but then you realize, no, like this guy's actually trying to fight. And then, they managed to beat him, and turns out that he was original Nice's best friend. And the fact
quotation
that
marks.
Quotation marks.
Quotation marks, asterisks. Need sourcing on that.
Yeah, so they had a backstory apparently. Like they went to hero school together, and he was fine playing his nemesis. But what really was driving him insane was that they grew apart, and then he no longer heard, and his friend jumped off a building. So that's a
bro. Why
feeling.
You ain't taking my calls anymore? I didn't hit you that hard.
Yep. And yes, and then we move into Firm Man and the whole Wolf Girl thing, which it's like, damn, this really didn't need to hit as hard as it did, with like the whole like, it turns out that like the girl he saved all those years ago was his nemesis, Wolf Girl, because she sees that like this isn't the real you. Like someone should really stand for what you believe in, and because of her, he actually is able to bend his knee again, and he's no longer in the top 10, but he doesn't care about that anymore. And woohoo, Nice is in the top 10. And then that episode ends with the freaking cliffhanger. Oh yeah, it ends with the cliffhanger that, oh shit, and Lighter's back, and he kidnapped Moon, which I probably forgot to mention that, yeah, there was a quick scene where Enlighter gets ambushed in his place, and he's like, and someone's like, I'll show you what you can really do with fear. And then we cut to episode 4, which, oh god, episode 4 was like one massive highlight, because it's like, holy shit, because like, yet again, you see the downsides of the trust value, and like, because no one wants Nice to go to save Moon, and you literally see he is physically being held back because of the trust value, but he ends up going anyway, and he actually loses his Nice persona, and he's back to being Ling. He's got no trust value. The hell is he gonna do? And you see him getting pummeled by freaking Enlighter. And then one of the best scenes of the show was that like someone shouts his name, one person, and that just gives him enough trust to manage to beat the shit out of him, and then eventually gets more trust value. And that whole scene, that whole episode, that whole fight was just like, oof, like that hit really hard. And I'm just like, and yet again at the time I'm thinking, well, this is just about Nice, and well, no, later we wouldn't be. So then, yeah, and it turns out that Moon was fake, and then now he's not even Nice anymore. He's officially, I think his title is the Commoner.
Yeah.
Yes, Commoner.
The Commoner. And then And the biggest swerve we get, because then Moon was stranded on that island. He goes to save her, and he's like, "Thank you," and he's like, "I see you managed to find your true calling or whatever." Oh, it looks nice. Gets shot in the head. And then it's funny because I didn't remember this, but yeah, Steve pointed out, and I saw the episode again. We did see Esol there. I didn't remember seeing Esol.
Yeah,
there,
he was
yeah,
there.
you saw. Yeah, but then you saw him.
At the time, you wouldn't know who that figure was at the end of the episode, but when you actually watch the full series from beginning to end, it's like, oh, okay. And in a way, like, all these stories are kind of interconnected in a way. I think in for a time, because I don't want to be here all day, I would just briefly go over each individual character's arc, just a brief summary, and then just kind of move on.
Yeah, but like, just to bookend this, like, how did y'all feel with Lin Ling in those first 4 episodes as we move to the next guy, Sam?
I thought it was a good story. I mentioned it before, but it's just like the condensed nature of these arcs, which can be, I think the longest would be my
Nice.
character later.
No, the longest was
It was
Lin
not.
Ling.
It was not. It was Lin Ling.
He had
The
4 episodes.
longest
Everyone else
that
had
were
3.
Specifically focused on one character would be Ling Ling's.
Okay.
But there was the arc that kind of connects 3 characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of made it feel a bit longer than it needed to. Yeah. Anyway, the 4 episodes that they told here, pretty great. I think that starting it off with this arc and having it be as strong as possible, and also having the animation, because we'll briefly discuss about the CGI and the mixture of media here. I think the team here did a fantastic job. I'm not opposed to CGI in shows as long as it's done well and there's a good story behind it. And they nailed it right out of the park. It's just the mixture between the hand-drawn animation styles alongside the CGI just really makes this whole show pop and come to life.
Mm-hmm. All right, Steve, what is your thoughts like on the Lin Ling arc?
Lin Ling. Yeah, I agree with Sam when it comes to like the CG. Like, I'm not opposed to CG as long as it's done right. And Super Hero X absolutely got it right. But yeah, his entire story, it fooled me. I thought this was going to be at first just Lin Ling, like his story. And even at the end, I was thinking, where is this going to go from here with Lin Ling's story? But
It doesn't.
It doesn't. But in a quick side note, the amount of edits I've seen of Moon's death, like in hilarious, like specifically like the soda pop meme from Demon Hunters, where they have her get shot as soon as it drops. Like when the soda pop came over, like y'all are going to hell, and I'm going to hell for laughing as well.
We're all
You guys
going to
show me
hell.
that later.
Yes. Oh, I will. I will. But yeah, like, you know, with the whole trust value thing, being introduced the trust value, you know, absolutely, definitely, you saw that the little cracks in the trust value system very, very early on with this arc. And, you know, I didn't actually think, we get the reveal of that he's, not nice that soon, but it did, and it worked out. And I kind of love that he eventually built his own trust system off of that one fight at the very end. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say about it. And yeah, poor Rek. Biggest loser in all of this.
Poor Rek.
Sketch, how do you feel on Lin Ling's arc?
Well, since you just mentioned Rek, what is it with Alejandro Saab always playing these rival antagonist characters lately? Like, I just saw Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1. I was like, oh, is that Alejandro Saab? Is that guy? Yep, that makes sense.
Steve, in case you didn't know, he played the guy Zenitsu fought.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to check it out again, but
He saw it in
I've been doing
Japanese.
discussion for that.
Oh yeah.
I'm dog sitting right now, so I can't see it again at the minute. But I will. I do plan on seeing it in dub again.
Good I think this is a really good introductory arc. I think if you look at it in retrospect, even though it doesn't really connect much to anything else, I see it as them just establishing the world, establishing the concept of the trust and how it's both good and bad. It's literally what Spider-Man said. This is my gift. This is my curse. Like, to the extreme. And I think it does a really good job of establishing the world, the rules, how it can be favorable, how it can be unfavorable, the good and the bad, the dark and the light. And I think that's all really, really good. And then the animation, my gosh, the animation.
I know.
Oh my!
The fight between Nice and Wreck. Wow. Wow, what a fight.
And then the fight with Enlighter in episode 4.
Yeah, the fight with
Oh
Enlighter
my
too.
god! The changing
Really?
animation style.
Really awesome. So cool. Like they nailed the CGI. But the thing about the cliffhanger at the end of the 4th episode, you're like, oh, she's fine, right? They've done this before. I don't think she is actually. I don't think she's fine this time.
But yeah. All right, so we're moving on to our next hero, and don't worry, I'm not gonna like dive into each episode individually. Like, I'll keep it brief. Now, I'm stupid. I don't know about you guys, but I had no idea that everything after Ling Ling was being told in the past, because like
It's not
I know, like,
immediately obvious.
It's not immediately obvious. It's probably by the time that you get to Lucky Cyan that I was like, oh, okay, this is telling the events before Lin Ling.
yeah, like
Although it did mention like early in the episode, like, hey, it's the past.
Because the thing is that what screws me up is like when a show uses fictional years, fictional time.
Same.
Because I recently just saw the first 5 episodes, so like Ling Ling started with year 41 after commission, and then E-Soul started, I think it said like year 23 or year 30 or something
like that.
and then that's when I'm like, I should have known from the start. It took me
it did say it, like...
It took me an embarrassingly long amount of time to realize everything after was being told in the past. And essentially, we kept working, every episode after kept working towards current day where the first arc finished. But yeah, so now we move into E-Soul. Specifically, his name is Yang Chen, and he's a massive fan of Lucky Cyan. And he has the world's greatest uncle, his Uncle Rock, the best uncle ever. Don't y'all agree?
He rocks.
So his whole thing is that he is an E-Soul like dancer or E-Soul like performer.
Because,
Yeah, he works at like a little cheap amusement park, and he like plays like a character, like a Super Sentai type live action show type thing.
Yeah,
because
I was getting like flashback to my actual job watching it.
Because E-Soul is one of the original heroes who's lauded as the person who took down Zero, which we'll talk about later. But essentially, E-Soul is like pretty much like, I don't know the right word to describe it. Pretty much like a national treasure, if you will.
He's a legend.
Like a legend.
Legend is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah. So like he's a college student and he's just going like doing his job, and eventually they have like these E-Soul tryouts, and he's trying to impress this girl at his class, and she's like,
another one.
You mind?
Another.
And then she's like, do you mind watching my, like, I forgot the exact events, but it was like, you mind watching him? Or I think she didn't even know that it was him under the mask, but like,
no,
and
she
like
did not.
Yeah, but then the kid like immediately knew who it was, and he's like, "You're not even doing ESOL right." And then he
From experience,
Mhm.
kids are brutally honest.
Yep.
So yeah, and he actually ends up improving his performance because of the kid. But then the kid gets kidnapped, and he ends up going to save the kid. And that was another strong moment for the episode. Like him, like because he's like getting beaten by these two guys, and then yet again the kid's crying his name, and that gives him his trust value. And what do you know? He can do all the ESOL stuff, and then yeah, over the course of his arc, he starts building up a reputation as new ESOL. Eventually, like he catches the attention of I forgot his name, like his other classmate who he's jealous of, like who is the son of Shand.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm blanking on his
Is
name
it
as well.
Shang? Like I am so awful. Like I'm so awful with Chinese names. I really am.
It's Shang, played by Aaron Dismuke.
Yes, one of Aaron Dismuke, Shang Chao, that's his name. Yeah, so he wants to help Yang Chen rise, with ESOL and all that. And you want to know what killed me was that like he wanted to ask this girl out on a date, and he got Lucky Cyan tickets, and they never got to go to the concert.
No.
But yes,
She
so
got mad
then-
at him for lying to her about not liking Lucky Cyan.
yeah, God,
Yeah.
that is like he's like, do you like Lucky Cyan? He's like, no, Lucky Cyan's stupid. And then so yeah, Shang Chao is trying to help Yang Chen reach his popularity with the whole new ESOL thing, but then that starts sparking this debate with old ESOL and new ESOL and all that, and who's right. And then yet again, another, they can't keep getting away with this moment, was when episode 6 ended with Shang Chao getting shot.
Yeah.
And I think it's implied that he could have saved him, but I think he
Yeah,
hesitated,
he
yeah. Which then caused his death. And that
Wow, what a
caused...
Spider-Man origin.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
You know what I
be-
like? I like that old ESOL is like, whatever, he's just a kid, don't worry about it. And his manager is like, no, you have to take this seriously. So the whole time you think, oh, this manager's probably trying to sabotage this kid. Yes, but...
yeah, so...
somebody else lurking in the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta give him credit, I didn't expect who it was.
Yes,
Neither
same
did I.
here.
Low key, I kind of did.
Yeah,
Like,
Shang
I did
Chao-
not trust the person we will mention later at all.
Yeah. Shang Chao gets shot, and that pisses his dad off, and that sets off another chain of events that we will talk about later. But Shand, I think is his name, does not take his son's death well, and he had his own thing going on in that process. But we'll talk about that later. Because now Yang Chen's pissed, and he's challenging ESOL to a fight, the old ESOL to a fight. And I remember that they were training really hard, and then his good Uncle Rock, his best uncle ever, is telling him, like, get him to use the lightning slash, because he's weak when he uses that. And he's like, but he hasn't used it in years. How can we get him to do it? And then his uncle's like, I got this. Don't worry about it.
Just taunt it out of him. Make the people demand it.
And then, like, yeah,
Like,
and then we get...
You sure you can afford that? It's so expensive. Don't worry about it. Okay, that's the moment where you probably been like, oh, wait.
And then, like, we get to the fight, but, like, the sad moment was that she wanted to go with him to see Lucky Cyan, and you see her alone in that Lucky Cyan concert crying.
Biggest
But
back fumbler of 2025.
Yep. And then here comes Lucky Cyan playing some music while the two ESOLs fight, and another gorgeous moment in the show. God, the fight between the two ESOLs was
crazy,
insane.
Good.
and and then it ends with the two of them clashing so hard, and it's supposed to be like, oh, who won? But it's clear who won. It was Yang Chen, who's now the current E-Soul. And then in the end of the episode, you later find out, oh, his good Uncle Rock, yeah, he's rich, and he is he's the head of the, because there's like 3 different hero companies. I forgot the one that Rock owns. Is it like DEI or something?
Oh my god.
MG? Yeah, so it's, and then
let me double check.
And then you find out this
Mighty
unraveling that Rock orchestrated the kid to get kidnapped, orchestrated Shen Chao to get shot, sold everything, and we're just...
It was Mighty Glory. It was Mighty Glory. You were right on that.
Mighty Glory and
MG. Yeah, so it turns out Rock was the mastermind behind this, and we already hate Rock, but we would hate him even more later.
I knew it. I didn't trust him.
But yeah, Yang Chen, E-Souls. Like, to summarize my thoughts, I kind of find it a tragedy, if I'm being real.
It's sad.
It is a tragedy.
It's sad. Like, he was used.
Awful.
Yeah, he was used, and then like you see that the girl that he's crushing on actually likes him back, and he just never returns that feeling. Never.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating.
She flat out says, "I'm not gonna wait for you forever."
Yeah, it's like, dude,
it's like, bro, what more of a hint do you need?
Exactly.
Considering
the
that this
was on the wall,
ago.
like, hey, she clearly likes you. He's like, and he still stood to answer up and says no.
That's just insane, man.
Come on, you can't pull the bag that hard.
He's like a good-hearted kid at first. And then
he turned into a psychopath.
Yeah,
well, I don't want to say psychopath, but like,
because he was worried about losing trust value. Remember, he started at 0.
Right. Oh yeah. That's a whole thing. He started out with 0 trust
value.
value.
Oh yeah, because his parents.
He had 0 trust value until her brother believed in him and got 1 trust.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I forgot, like, his whole backstory is that his parents were killed. And it was old E-Soul that saved him.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Yeah, that's
yeah. But yeah, like, my overall thoughts is that, like, yeah, this is probably one of the saddest stories of this whole bunch. I mean, there's other sad stories, but this was really, like, tragic.
Oh, that's got trauma.
It's this isn't bittersweet. This is just bitter.
It's just bitter. Yeah.
This is just a tough pill to swallow, but I guess when you think about it in the scope of things, it's like, yeah, not all stories are happy. But it's just sad that he fell from being such a nice, dependable guy to some kind of obsession. Like, why did he even fight the old E-Soul? That didn't make sense. What did it accomplish? Yeah, we know what it accomplished.
Yeah.
I think Rock was the one that pushed him to do it, didn't he?
Yeah, of course it was Rock. Of course it was Rock.
It's always Rock.
It's always
Never
Rock.
trust the Rock.
When there's a problem, it's always Rock.
It's always Rock.
It's always... That's all I'll learn in this show. Whenever you're down, it's Rock's fault.
Always blame the Rock.
But yeah, Sam, I know we were already talking about it, but how do you feel about Yang Chen or E-Soul's arc?
There were this is also another like case where this arc was also very strong and very condensed. It is a very tragic arc to go through, but it's so damn entertaining to kind of see all these characters and seeing the origins of these characters play out. And just seeing like the sad ending of it all. It's just like, yeah, he made it into the Hero League and he's like one of the top heroes, but at what cost?
I won, but at what cost?
Yeah, it's just like it was a manipulative move for Rock to do for his cousin, I guess. But it's just,
it wouldn't be the only manipulative move he'd do.
But yeah, it's a very tragic arc, and I think it is a continuous stream of like 2 really strong arcs back to back. And then they kind of throw you with a swerve with the 3rd one.
But we'll get there.
Yeah.
Steve, how do you feel on Yang Chen / E-Soul's arc?
It is really it's such a tragic arc. I mean, it's this sweet, sweet kid who all he wants to do is impress his girl. That's all he wants to do. And as soon as he gets a little trust value, he gets power hungry and forgets pretty much everything. And the whole time, he's manipulated behind the scenes by Rock. It's just really tragic. And I want to bring up the nickname TikTok has given for E-Soul. They're calling this man E-Fraud. like any video mentioning E-Soul, they all call him E-Fraud. And you know what? I see it.
Should have called him E-Soulless.
That's another good one.
That's good.
That's a good one.
I'm surprised no one's come up with that yet, but E-Fraud, that's
I'm
good.
sure somebody has.
Oh, absolutely, someone has.
Sketch, how do you feel on Yang Chen / E-Soul?
Yeah, I just thought of something. Both of these arcs are about taking over the mantle of an existing hero, but they approach them so differently.
Yeah.
One is like a big secret for the majority of the time, and once people realize the truth, they're like, okay, you can be your own guy, whatever. And then this one is just a hostile takeover of a persona.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an interesting comparison, I feel. And wow. And then he kills his lady friend. Wow. It's all which I'm sure he did on orders. Probably from Rock.
Wait.
It probably was.
Wait, he killed her?
He shot her.
Oh no! Oh wait, no. You're talking. Sorry. I'm thinking for a second. I thought you said he. Killed
no. He didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't kill his
classmate. See, that's what I thought you said.
No. He ghosted her.
Yeah.
And all she says, like, whatever happens, be true to yourself. Well, he wasn't.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
She may not be dead, but she might as well be.
Yeah, he might as well be. And now I think he's never going to reveal his face again. That was kind of like part of the appeal that people had was like, oh, old E-Soul, like
he never showed his face.
He never showed his face.
He loyal to the brand.
He doesn't seem have any charisma or whatever. Like he's trying to say, I was like, we only made a certain amount of these. And that's all.
He was brutally honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which there's certainly appeal to that, but instead people are like, oh, this young guy, he's not bad looking, he seems charismatic. Yeah, let's vote for that guy. He's a better E-Soul.
Is he though?
Yeah. Both of these arcs also kind of show you how strangely forgiving the trust system is. In that, even if you're a fraud, flat out, people be like, you know what? That's okay.
Even if you committed murder, we still trust you.
Yeah, even if you committed murder, even if you did something awful, even if you stole somebody else's identity, it's cool.
But yeah. So we move on to our next hero, Lucky Cyan, and this is where one of my big criticisms comes in. Starting with this episode, all the way until the very end, we stop being 3D and we're completely a 2D show. And in the beginning, I just thought, oh, well, this is the Lucky Cyan arc, and she's essentially Hatsune Miku. So I'm just thinking, oh, well, it makes sense for Lucky Cyan to be all 2D because it fits her aesthetic. And then we just kept switching, going into new arcs, and the show was still 2D. And I'm like, are we ever going to see 3D again? It's funny. I told Sketch this a while ago, but I call this a reverse Ninja Kamui situation. So where that show started with great 2D action and then devolved into these shitty CG stuff, and we were like, when are we getting more 2D? When in this show, we started with strong 3D, and then we switched to 2D, and I keep asking, when are we getting more 3D? But the difference is that 2D or 3D, the show looks miles better than Ninja Kamui.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like one of the biggest things that helped me on the show was the consistent changing of the styles and the 3D and all the like that literally made the show pop off. And like it still looks,
I will say
looks
with
great.
With the introduction of like the hand-drawn animation, they do switch it up with different art styles with each different segment.
Yeah.
So at the time the Lucky Cyan arc ends, you kind of move into the next arc, which is a different art style from the Lucky Cyan stuff. And then when you get to like the very late stuff with Ahu,
yeah, completely different art style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a very completely different art style.
Yeah.
And then you kind of realize.
I almost wonder if they got some American animators on that one because it looks like Transformers animated or Ben 10 Omnitrix.
Yeah, a little bit like that. And I think it's. I've always like when I think Giga explained this in like a spring video that this is more like a mixed media project, and it kind of does feel like that when you actually get to the Lucky Cyan arc.
Yeah,
this is a mixed media project because it still has CGI. I noticed that in the backgrounds they do use CGI sometimes, which honestly mixing that with like the hand drawn animation made it look a bit weird.
Sometimes.
Yeah, granted, we learn why there's so many art style changes later on.
Yeah, and once you get to that,
I love that there's actually a reason.
Yeah, there's like an in-universe reason for why there's so many different art style changes throughout the show, and that's just brilliant. That just when you get to that part in the show, it just opens my mind. Like, oh my god, that's amazing. They could have just waved it away, like, oh, we just want to try different things, but no, they wanted to tie it all together.
It's like an actual reason for it.
Yeah. The other thing is like the CGI stuff happens more in the current time, but also I think ultimately maybe they wanted to do more CGI, but they're like, we can't do arcane this entire show. It's gonna be
I felt like there had to be a budget reason too.
Way too hard to do that.
Yeah, and considering the last episode, not to spoil, is like focused on the guy responsible for that style change, it's like they were probably like, let's save the rest for when we get to him. But yeah, so let's talk about Lucky Cyan. Yet again, not gonna keep it brief, but like there was a plane crash, and this guy, I forgot his name. He's like a news reporter, but he's also like in cahoots with one of the hero associations. I forgot his name. He's voiced by Ian Sinclair, and he is inspecting the wreckage of this plane crash, and he sees a girl miraculously survive. I don't think we ever learn her real name, but they call her Cyan because of her hair. And he decides to take her to an orphanage, and it's like, oh, this looks pretty cute, and then you see like her power, and like these guys quickly take note of that. It's like, what's in my which hand is the coin in? It's like this one. Oh, they got it right. Where do you think I should go to vacation? This place. I got married and I got $1 trillion. And it's like, Lucky Cyan, it's in her name. She has the power of luck and gives people luck and all that. And the orphanage sees that and they abuse the shit out of it. Mm-hmm. And that is just god awful. Like, and then the guy,
more manipulation.
Mm-hmm. And then the guy, like, I don't know the name of the guy who runs it. He starts a full-on religion with her at the center, and it's just like, what in the hell is going on? Also, Lucky Cyan is voiced by Jill Harris, aka Noelle from Black Clover, and Best Girl Rika from Gridman. But yeah, so and
voiced in Gundam.
I haven't seen the dub of Gundam. Yeah, so then they start this whole religion, and she's kind of feeling the fatigue of it, and here comes this boy. His name is Luo, and he's kind of the opposite. He has unluckiness, so it kind of works out in her favor, and they end up forming a really nice friendship, and it's like, oh, that looks so sweet. And he's the one that convinces her to like branch out, and then you get this really gorgeous like scene of her like doing like a rock concert in the church, and I like, when the minute she started rocking out, I already knew, oh no, this is not going to end well for her. But yeah, like take off is the name of the song. That's another really good song, and I got that on my playlist. And what do you know? They try running away, and the guy, I keep forgetting his name, but the owner of the orphanage. Like I
He's
look
just
it
the
up.
orphanage director. I don't think he's named anything, but he's voiced by Christopher Wecky.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. No, I don't think. No. Yeah. No, they don't give him a name. I was looking through the wiki just now. Yeah. No. But yeah. So like, they try running away, but he captures them, and the guy and Luo uses his unluckiness for a truck to just barrel in, and Cyan is free, but Luo stays behind, and that's kind of sad.
To be that truck driver.
But this is not an isekai, so no one got like blasted
Yeah,
away.
nah, Truck-kun didn't send anybody anywhere.
Sad.
And then you see Cyan's on the streets, and looks like she's giving up, but a strange man gives her a coin.
That coin looks familiar.
Put that in your back pocket for the time being.
And I'll talk about it a little later, but there are some theories I'm hearing about that scene.
But she gets invigorated, and she decides to put on street performances, and people give her money. She's making a name for herself, but then people start recognizing that she's from the religion, and then the followers start following her. But then, here's Mickey, or no, like someone who works for Mickey, offering her to be in what's his association's name? There's like MG, and I forgot the other one because there's like 4 of them.
DOS.
DOS. But yeah, so he offers her a position there, and she becomes a hero there, and she actually starts becoming this idol, and it's really nice. And then because Luo taught her this song that he knew from memory, called My Color, and she would perform that on stage as in memoriam of him. That's really nice. And I also kept asking, when are we getting the full version of this song? Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I wanted that song forever to be uploaded online, and they never got uploaded until today. Like, literally as we're recording this, they finally dropped the entire OST, because I've been wanting to hear the full version of My Color for a long time. But yeah, so, and then it turns out Luo's alive, and the orphanage director is like, you want to know a secret? And then he's mad. And then there was a controversy that started with Lucky Sign. I think it had to do with the plane crash or something, and everyone thinks that she was responsible for the plane crash or something.
Yeah, her good luck is the reason why the plane crashed.
Yeah. So then, like, and Mickey's trying to tell her to stay away, not, be involved, and all that, but it turns out there's a recording. She heard this from Queen, which we'll get into later. But yeah, so then she goes back to the orphanage to get the recording, and the orphanage, which is also, I forgot to mention, this is really the first time we actually start seeing like fear in action, because they didn't really say anything, but it's like at the time I'm like thinking, okay, so trust value gives people powers, but I'm assuming negative emotions and negative opinions also, give people powers, but not in a, good way, because everyone's just like zombified essentially, and she's having to fight them and everything. And she put up a good fight with the funeral director too. And then here's Luo, because it turns out Luo's parents were on that plane crash, and he was told that Cyan caused the plane crash, and he's like, that's not fair and everything. And it kind of becomes a little tragic fight between the two, but luckily she manages to play the recording, and it turns out, no, that was not the case. Turns out she was crying, and everyone was singing to the girl, and a bunch of trust value went into the girl for luck to her to survive the plane crash. And all of a sudden it became a really sweet moment, like, who's cutting onions right now? And then Luo gets knocked out of the fear, and they hug and reunite. And I'm not gonna lie, I was in the back of my head, I'm like, something bad's gonna happen. It was like, something bad's gonna happen. I'm like, he's gonna get shot, isn't he? And then the episode ended just like that. I'm like, wait a second, we actually have a happy ending for one of these people? It was like, that's it. Like, he didn't get shot. No one, you know what I mean? I was like, this show has me messed up. I was expecting the worst. But yeah, that was Lucky Science arc. Essentially, massive uplift from the past two, which, like, I don't know why she feels really isolated compared to like everyone else. Like, a lot of the other guys have reasons for being there and everything, and then Lucky Science is just like, I'm just standing here. Like, that's what it feels to me, at least. Like, okay, she had her purpose and all that, but like, she ended up saving Luo, and now she's just good. Like, she hangs out with Queen a lot, and Johnny too. Yeah, they're friends.
It's weird that she's like one of the top 10 heroes when her whole deal is she's an idol.
Yeah.
Apparently that translates into being able to fight pretty good, actually.
The biggest question I had was, what happened to Luo? Because we don't know what happens to him after that. Like, he has to be...
We don't really check in on him. Also, it's not entirely clear how long she was... growing as a hero before she went back to the orphanage. Was like, did you not check up on him? I think she actually thought he died because of the truck. But like,
I think she did think that he died.
She did not do very good at checking in on these things.
I think she did think that he died. Like, I think like her assumption was that he died in that, and that's why she never bothered to look back.
He does mention that I was looking for you at some point. It's like, apparently not very hard. You knew exactly where this place was, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, in fairness, maybe she didn't because she ran away and she didn't know how far she ran.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably gonna sound real awful right now, but it was just like, because yet again, I'm like wondering what happened to him after that, because like we learned nothing, and then you get a scene later, and I think in Queen's story where she's calling up Lucky Cyan, and she's in her apartment and she answers the phone, and I'm like thinking to myself, is Luo in there somewhere? But we never see him again. And I'm just like, I really have questions of like they reunited. He has to be alive somewhere. But yeah, like Lucky Cyan overall, I'd have to say good feeling, but like she feels very isolated from everyone else. Like, it feels like she really just came and went. Not to say that she was bad. I mean, she had some amazing songs, but honestly, like compared to everyone else, I feel like she's like the most like just there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's just there type hero. Let's Sam, how do you feel on the Lucky Cyan arc?
I thought it was very good for the most part. I do like the contrast between Luau and Lucky Cyan, where Lucky Cyan is, of course, lucky, and Luau is not. So that contrast actually plays well. Like, they're contrasting parts of two different people, but they get along very well with each other, and they both care about each other very much. So, I mean, like, going through the entire story for it, by the end, it was like, yeah, I do see of it as, like, this is isolated, and I'm fine with it being an isolated story, technically speaking. When you got to Isol, it also was separate from Lin Ling's story. Although it felt a little bit more tied together a bit, I guess. This just feels like it's off doing its own thing, which kind of implies, yeah, this is an anthology show, so that's going to happen a whole lot, is that you're going to have moments where the show is just going to jump around from arc to arc, focusing on these new characters. But it does start to make sense later on, obviously, with the next character, which we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, pretty good arc.
All right, Steve, how are you feeling on the Lucky Cyan arc?
I liked it. And I will say it was very refreshing to see an interest not get clapped for once. I was so worried, like, because what happened. Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
It's just like you and I had the same thought. Like when that episode dropped, I was literally like, "Man, I thought he was gonna get shot or something." Like,
Yeah,
like this
like,
felt too
don't-
good to be true.
Yeah, but come, admit it. We were all thinking the same thing. He was gonna bite it. We all thought at some point, but no, he survived.
I just wonder what he's up to now because he really
Yeah.
just
Honestly,
disappears
that is actually one of
after-
my questions I have for this. Is like, what is he doing now? What is he up to now? But yeah, it was also like, a good way to they truly introduced the fear. I mean, they somewhat touched upon it, but not really in Lindling's
It
arc.
was like there somewhat in Lingling, but yeah, it was really here that we
Yeah.
started to see it.
Yes, started understanding the contrast to trust value is fear, and it's the thing truly introduced into the universe. And Sam kind of touched upon it, but the contrast between someone having their power being luck and the other one being unluck. But yeah, and
that should be a show.
I should.
Maybe-
I know. Am I right?
yeah.
It's almost, I know, right? Like, hell, I think it should be a good manga. It sounds
Yeah, that
pretty
sounds
good.
like a good idea. Maybe we should get on
Yeah,
that.
right? Yeah, I think so, yeah. That sounds like a really good idea, actually. But, yeah, anyway. But, yeah, overall, I thought it was good, and I think, looking back on it and knowing what we know now, it absolutely set up a certain someone we know and started kind of his story in a way as well. It started with Lucky Scion, this certain someone story with the coin that I'm not going to say yet, but we all know who I'm talking about.
Mhm.
It's funny because before that episode came out, that's when I saw the 6-minute pilot. So when I saw this random man walking away, I was immediately like the Leonardo DiCaprio point, like woo woo.
Nice.
Sketch, how do you feel on Lucky Scion's arc?
Yeah, it was quite a bit different after the first two arcs. Not only because the being all 2D, but just a totally different vibe. And of course, kind of typical, right? Grow up in an orphanage, become an idol, become a priestess, and then you're like, no, I'm gonna play rock music, not church music. Oh, heresy!
Hell yeah!
Oh, that's pretty amusing to me.
The minute she took off the robe and she had that rocker girl get up, I was immediately like,
and the
oh
roller
no.
skates.
Oh, and I was immediately like, oh no, the audience is about
It
to.
kind of reminded me of one of the sticks. God, it was from Mr. Roboto, or whatever that album was called. But there was a song about a rock, about a corporation trying to get rid of rock music altogether, and they play rock music. It's just it kind of reminded me a bit of that.
I believe this is the earliest in the timeline besides some flashbacks that happen in a later arc. So this is kind of the beginning of the timeline. Kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah.
it has that significance. It also it introduces fear by name. They give a name to it. They give a whole understanding of it. And I guess it's not that significant, but there's moments where they show what happened in one of the tournaments. And
No,
you see-
oh wait, yeah, no, that did
this
happen.
did happen.
That was this arc.
And all you know is this one guy beat Queen, and you see the silhouette, and you're like,
Queen did not slay.
and I'm so every time I watch the opening and I see that gunslinging redhead, I'm like, when's she gonna show up?
Yeah,
Well,
She never shows up in the show,
They-
does she?
I think they showed
just-
up in the background, as a news report or something.
I think they got eliminated from the tournament, and that's all you get. I was like, oh, come on, you're killing me with that.
You want to know what's crazy was that when the show first dropped and that opening played and there was all those characters, because the arcane vibes were strong, I initially thought the show was based off a video game. Like I thought it was like a gacha game or something. I was like, all these guys look too
It totally
unique.
could be.
Yeah,
Like, I was
Cole,
they might do that now.
Oh my God,
But at the
Would not be surprised.
at the time, I was like, these guys all look too unique. They have to be like gacha game characters or something. And it was like, no. It was like they're literally just made for this show. But it's like, who knows? They might make this a gacha game now because it's doing
They probably
insane. But yeah. So, you got anything else to say on Lucky Sign before we move on, Sketch?
It was a fine story. It's pretty sad what happened to the orphanage. I mean, obviously
I mean, like they
the leader of the orphanage had delusions of grandeur because he was a hero and he failed, and then he made his whole persona of that. But like, man, that's just unfortunate. But you can also see how devastating fear can be widespread.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's maybe one of the less good storylines, but still essential watching.
It was good, but I was just like, because in the end, compared to everyone else, Lucky Sign just feels like the most like out there. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Because she kind of had a conclusion in a sense, unlike the other guys. But yeah, so we move on, and this is where each of these guys start getting 2 episodes instead of 3. When we begin with Queen, so she is the daughter of Liu Zheng, the reporter who found Lucky Cyan, and she graduates. She graduated college, I think it was, and she got up on stage and she essentially declares that she's going to become X to tear down the current hero society and rebuild it. I forgot the exact thing that she said, but she essentially wants to tear down the old system and rebuild the new one, and everyone just proceeds to laugh at her and all that. But it's also like, hey, because
all the hero associates are like, yeah, girl power, let's go.
Yeah, this kind of started like a revolution for female heroes and all that. And yeah, so then you start to see her move up in the ranks, and because this is where they start like intertwining some of the other people. So like, because then she starts having this rivalry with Boa, and Boa hates her. Like, God, Boa hates Queen. Like, God, like there's such pure hatred in Boa with Queen. But then it's also here that she meets Lucky Cyan and Johnny. Like, this is where we really get introduced to Johnny, and we'll get to his story. Like, his story is like way later, but he literally got introduced so early on, and the amount of screen time he has before we even like get to his own story is like, God. But yeah, Queen's like getting like situated in the hero tower, and she meets Lucky Cyan, and she meets little and big Johnny, and it's just kind of funny, that whole scene where there's like, she's trying to be like stoic and like sincere, and then here comes these 2 bozos. It's just like, Lucky Cyan's just like, can I pet him? He looks so cute. And he's like, go ahead and pet him. And then Lucky Cyan's going to Queen like, please pet him, he's so cute. And then she's just like,
God bless little Johnny.
We'll get to Johnny. He has a thing, but like, yeah, we get introduced to Johnny in this episode, and it's just like, dear Lord. But then, yeah, like, you start to see that Queen kind of starts rising up in the ranks, and then she gets this rivalry with Boa going, and so like, now they're going to face off in the hero tournament. So like, the whole thing that they had planned was that Boa and Queen are going to compete in the hero tournament to see who's going to be X. But that doesn't happen because Queen's ready to fight Boa, but Boa's not the one that comes out. For the first time in this show, we finally get a look at the man who's been plastered all over the opening. Hero X himself. He doesn't have a name. He's just referred to as X. But this is the first time we actually see him. And then just like talk about an introduction to where she's like, wait, this guy beat Boa? What the heck did he do? And then begin match, and then snap of the fingers, and immediately the match is over. It's like, what do you do? And you later find out what he can do. But yeah, I'm trying to remember because I'm having a hard time remembering what was going on with Queen. Because like I know like her whole thing was that she had a rivalry with Boa, and that she was supposed to, take that top spot. But then here comes Mystery Man taking the spot, and immediately everyone's like mad, like, hello, the heck did he do? She was supposed to be the top spot, and he's calling up Mickey like, this isn't right, whatever. I guess they were staging it. But then Queen swears that she's gonna make it next tournament, but Boa ain't taking her loss easily, and she starts getting hit with that fear, and that
starts taking them fear roids.
Yeah, because I think you get a bit of backstory with Boa. I think she was a police chief, or like a policewoman, and I think she like got shot or something. I know like she has like a scar on her shoulder, and I think it was that she got like shot in her backstory. And it's another case of like misogyny and like in like the Hero Association. Like I'm having a hard time remembering this. I really should have rewatched the show. But
yeah, she got
she switches. Oh yeah, and then like there was like a comedian, like, because then Queen's so depressed that losing that she's like flipping channels and everyone's just roasting her.
Oh yeah,
it's like
that comedian.
Yeah, and it's just like, wow, look at her. She talks all big, but she ended up losing at the end of the day.
Boa's whole deal is she believes she has to get stronger because people don't believe she's strong. And she show them all wrong.
Yet again, another downside of the whole trust value thing, which you later see like more with the next hero. But yeah, so then like Queen's like determined to make it the next tournament, but then I think it's like the day before the next tournament, here comes Boa all hopped up on that fear juice, and we got an insanely gorgeous fight sequence, even in all 2D. Like this, the Queen and Boa fight, dear lord, like that. Oof. But that was definitely one of the better animated sequences, and like. I'm still having a hard time trying to understand Queen's power. Is that like she essentially sets rules within a given like barrier or whatever, and it kind of reminds me of like My Hero, like the Star and Stripe power. I don't know, Sketch, you've seen the latest season, but like that's what it kind of reminded me of. But the whole Queen and Boa fight was just spectacular. But then like Queen's taken out. And then it turns out that she missed her shot to compete in the tournament, and she's all depressed. But here's Lucky Cyan to cheer her up, and then yet again, we started feeling like a little hurt here, because then like Queen's story ends with her and Lucky Cyan just going on a bit of a vacation, and then there's just a monster that appears out of nowhere, and that's the end of Queen's story. Let's move on to the next guy.
Yeah, what a way to stop.
Yeah, and being honest, it was at that point, at the time, luckily we were wrong. At the time, we were thinking to ourselves, this anthology is really starting to collapse in on itself, isn't it? Because like we were now going 2 episodes per character, and now it's like not even enough to tell one person's story. And the way Queen's arc just ended felt completely random, and it's like, okay, well, what was that? We later find out what was that. But yeah, if I have to talk about Queen, I don't know, I guess in my opinion she was fine. Like I definitely like understand like where her arc was coming from, about like wanting to tear down like the way the hero system is, which trust value ain't exactly the best thing in the world, but it just, I don't know how to describe it, but I guess I'll start asking you guys, like Sam, how do you feel on Queen's arc?
It was fine. That's all I have to say on it. It was just a fine little arc. I barely even remember anything from it.
Yeah, that's why I was the same. I was like, I'm having a hard time trying to remember her story.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not awful or anything, but it's just, it doesn't really add much to the world, and it doesn't really do much for me. I don't hate the character or anything, but considering how little of a part, well, she plays a bigger part later, but at the moment that her arc ends, it just feels like she accomplishes little.
Yeah. Steve, I know you were out for a minute, but like,
yeah, sorry about that.
I just finished Queen's section. I was also just, because I was wondering if you were going to chime in, because I'm like, here comes the tournament, and then we get this strange man who Queen wasn't expecting to show up. And then I mentioned like X's debut was here and all that, but how do you feel on Queen's arc?
For me, right now, when I think about it, I feel like he was really introduced to, like, obviously to tell Queen's backstory, but as a way to introduce how fear can really manipulate somebody, as we saw Boa. When I think about it, I never really thought about that really until now.
Yeah, like I had the hardest time remembering Queen's story out of everyone.
Yeah, it felt a little short. Like,
yeah,
if anything to take out of it, it's like it just shows like not even heroes are safe from fear. Like, if something happens, like they can be very much affected by fear.
Yeah. And at the same time too, I was like, at the time we kind of felt like this anthology was like collapsing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Like, I definitely found myself questioning, like,
wrong.
Yes, of course.
Luckily we were wrong, but at the time it's like we're going 2 episodes per character now, so like what, like, and the way it just ended with like, oh, like a monster appears and that's it.
Yeah, like I definitely started questioning myself, like, does this format, is it still gonna work? Because after Queen, like, I felt like Queen's Arc was like, that's it, that's all we get. But
and then we move on to the next guy.
Yeah, and then we just moved on to the next one. Like, oh, I guess that's that. But yeah, overall, like, because it was really just introduced Queen in some other characters and to really set up something much bigger down the line.
Sketch, how do you feel on Queen's arc?
I enjoyed it. I like Queen. I like her whole deal. I like her design, and I think her powers are cool, though they are very undefined.
I was gonna say, isn't it like she has a barrier and she can manipulate, like, put rules in a barrier.
Yeah, it's kind of like
it reminds me of what's her name from My Hero, like the latest season, like the American hero.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm blanking at her name.
Star and Stripe. I don't know her real name.
Star and Stripe. Thank you.
I would say it's like Law in One Piece.
Or that too.
But yeah, and that fight between her and Boa was sick. That was nice.
Oh, that was so good.
Fighting. That was awesome.
I was like, even though we're all 2D,
I really like that Scion and Johnny just broke down her barriers, because she thought she was above having friendship, and then she realizes, no, actually this is good. And I like that for her, because early on is like, she had big ideals, she had big goals, and unfortunately it kind of seems like her goals, at least thus far, do not come to fruition, which is
thanks to a certain someone.
Thanks to a certain someone who might be turning the whole system on its head anyway. So, but I digress. I liked it in the moment, but when we got to that cliffhanger, I was like, what? Whoa! What the giant monster? Okay.
Wow.
And then I looked at the next episode. I'm like, oh, that's not. This is something else. Okay. Maybe we'll get back to that.
Yeah. Nature's in the too. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, because Boa, she was supposed to fight Boa, but that didn't
Yeah.
end up happening because X showed up.
And I love how it's like they still kept it mysterious of who X is and what he can actually do. It was like a literal snap of fingers, like, oh, it's done.
Yeah, you kind
What
of get
I-
the impression that he's like super fast when you see
What-
that for
yeah,
the first
like-
time.
Yeah.
Considering
what I don't
that I saw the
understand is how
pilot,
can he just be in this tournament unexpectedly and nobody knows who he is? How does that work? Because you have to be like in the top 10 to
Yeah.
even fight, right?
Yeah, I do hope we get more answers on that in like if we ever get a season 2.
I hope so. But
We better get a season 2.
Oh, we better.
I think it's all but confirmed, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, that was Queen, and now we move to our next one, Lowly. And this also just starts a chain reaction. So like starting with Lowly, we're kind of put into like this little mini arc essentially, where like there's something going on that like even
Yeah,
though
actually,
we're
I would
switching-
kind of like clump the next few arcs together because one, I don't want to be
I
sitting
agree.
here talking about each individual character's arc. So the next ones would be Lowly.
I'll just ask you guys about Lowly, Ghostblade, and Johnny,
yeah,
like in the ruins incident. So we'll bunch those together. But yeah, so like Lowly, her whole thing is a cute. Like, how can a cute girl be a hero? Because no one trusts cute girls. And her episode starts where she's getting gains. Like she's got muscle on her and she's putting in the work on that machine, and everyone's impressed. They're like, whoa, holy crap, this girl can lift. But then her hat falls off and she has like that chibi anime girl face, and everyone is like, oh, she's a girl.
She lost her
and
gains.
she
man!
lost her gains because the trust went down,
Whoa.
and it's just like, wow.
I think when I first saw this character, I mean, it was like, this is just Diva from Overwatch.
And she's voiced by Sarah. I don't know how you pronounce her last name. White.
Weinfeld. Very, very German sounding last name.
Yeah, who is the voice of Zeno in Dragon Ball Super and Suika in Doctor Stone. I pretty much associate her with like the go-to voice for little mascot characters, I guess. Like she like not like this is gonna sound like I don't mean to make it sound like an insult, but she really has like that voice that like you just associate with like little mascot girls or whatever. Like, I mean, like she also does like I've been rewatching Chainsaw Man and she's Power in there and she's really good there too. But she plays Lowly in this, and Lowly's whole thing is because of her looks, her trust value is pretty low because no one can trust, or I guess like no one can believe a girl like her can be like a strong hero. And her dad's also a famous scientist, or is he a scientist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scientist.
Yes.
Who happens
And-
to leave a lot of advanced technology lying around his house.
So she's like
also a genius.
yes. I guess the best way to put it is she is essentially Chinese anime Iron Man or something like that.
Anime Iron Heart.
Ironheart.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're not wrong.
I
think you're not wrong.
Yeah, so then like Lowly's whole thing is
Call her
that she
Lolly Williams.
So Lowly's whole thing is that she wants to be like the tough hero, but like because of her looks, no one will give her the time of day. So then that's when she starts crafting this suit. And she goes out on a test run with this suit, and oh look, she sees someone stalking this girl, and she goes to save him, but her suit fails. But then like the guy who was stalking this random girl, like because her mask falls off, and she's like, "Get away from her!" And he's immediately like with his hands, it's
Whoa,
like, "No,
what
no,
did I get into? I'm outta here."
It's like, I'm out of here. It's just like, okay, and then like then her dad finds out, and he like offers her, if you're gonna do this, at least do it in my lab or whatever. And then
Well, he doesn't want her doing hero stuff, but he does want her using her genius.
Ah, yes. Good old daddy issues.
Overprotective father has to have one of these.
Overprotective father. So then, yeah, she starts working in her dad's lab, and oh look, it's the girl she saved. Turns out she works for her father. His name's Luo Li, and I'm assuming Luo is a common name in China, like because immediately I thought of the other Luo from Science backstory. But yeah, so then she meets this girl. Her name is Nuo, and they form a bit of a friendship together. It looks pretty cute, and might be a little more going underneath the surface.
Maybe there was at least a kiss on the cheek at some point.
Yep. And actually, like I don't know, like because there's a 2-minute PV of like a little side thing, and she goes to like a club with her. Well, like a club with her.
Yeah,
and,
club.
Yeah, they literally hold hands in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so like yeah, she has this nice friendship, and like then the base gets raided by like I forgot his name, like the disco, like he's like the dancing hero. Like it was like I forgot his name, but I know his whole thing is that he makes.
We'll just call him Disco Stew for now.
Disco Stew. Yeah, so then because
DJ Shindig.
Yeah, because her whole thing was that Nuo noticed.
Somebody thinks he's Daft Punk.
Yeah, we all made that joke too when we were watching it. I was like, this is just Daft Punk.
Emu Daft Punk.
Yeah, so
it's already existed beforehand, but
Nuo like notices the faults in Loli's first suit, so she offers to help her, and they kind of work together to build this new suit. And then the lab gets raided by DJ Shindig. Nuo's drunk, and she thinks it's the stalker, and it's so hilarious.
Who, by the way, just recently called on her phone and just breathed.
And yeah, and then it's just funny because she's going up to the guys like, why do you want me? Why do you keep following me? And this guy's like, well, who is this girl? Get her away from me, please, for the love of God, get her away from me. And then we get like, and then Loli comes out in the new suit, and like, yeah, her like she's got like the emojis on her face, and then we get like a pretty cool fight with DJ Shindig. He's hopped up on that. Was he hopped up on Fear the first time?
I don't think so.
Not yet. No.
Yeah, because I know he would get it later. Because like yeah, the lab is working on Fear, and they're studying about Fear because I think Luo Li works for the association.
Not to rush, but I don't want this to go on for too long. Sorry.
Point is, the lab gets attacked, and they manage to put the guy down, but it turns out they're gonna blow up, and he's like, okay, we're gonna send in Ghostblade, and then this is where we start Ghostblade's whole story. And yet again, we're thinking, okay, like this anthology's not really working well, and then it's funny because then we get in the Ghostblade story, and Ghostblade, I have to say, he's also kind of a tragic person because he
was like raised in like a family with a butcher shop, and then the whole thing is that he hates being there. He only likes quiet. He doesn't really talk. He doesn't really communicate that much in the show. He's very mute. So basically, throughout the entire arc, he actually falls in love at the beginning of his arc.
Yeah, he finds a girl who doesn't talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
They communicate via phone.
They communicate
anti-social for the win.
Even when they're out on a nice dinner date.
Yeah.
Yep.
Both there with their phones.
And then at their wedding,
then, like, after a while, like, you know, they have a kid, and she's very much about like she wants to have a family. That she is very serious about, like, look, if you're going to be serious about this with me, I don't want this to just be no communication between us. It has to be a verbal relationship. And he just clams up, and it becomes like this mute character kind of coming to this realization that he just is never going to speak.
Well, I don't think it was that it was that the trust value.
Yeah, the trust value. Because he's a super amazing assassin, and they think he never talks.
Like, to post on social media, essentially like, oh my god, this guy, not bad looking. He doesn't talk like at all, and that the trust value essentially made him mute.
Yeah, you get his inner monologue. He's also voiced by Ernesto Liebert, I think is his. I can't pronounce his last name.
Jason Ernesto
Or-
Liebert.
But yeah, he plays Zeke in Attack on Titan. But anyway, yeah. So like,
Yeah, it's interesting because to tie it in with the previous story, the one
he
worker
was the
who's friends
stalker.
with, who's friends with Lily, he's the actual stalker, but he actually has a reason for it because it's actually
He's her
his
father.
Poor
daughter.
man literally cannot talk.
Yep. So he's stalking his adult daughter after not spending any time
So
with her.
then, like the section we were questioning a lowly story started to make sense. And then one other thing I want to point out, because at the start of Ghostblade's thing, we see him kill a man, a random man, you might say, but the man he kills. Oh, that's not a good thing. We'll get to
Yeah,
later.
the man he kills, to tie it in with Little Johnny and Big Johnny's story, is that's his father that he killed.
That's Johnny's dad. But yeah, so then like we immediately move in. He takes care of DJ Shindig, and then they have this whole thing
he was
to where like
impacted by
we
fear
got
at that point, right?
Yeah,
No,
he was
no.
starting to get impacted by fear, and they just decided to let him suck up a lot more fear.
Yeah, and he just stood in there, and then the association's like, oh, we got to investigate this alien ship wreckage and all that, and then okay, we're gonna send Ghostblade, we're gonna send Loli, we're gonna send Little Johnny, and all that, and here comes
Important
the best-
detail: Loli's there because the metal that she took from her father, which was from the alien ship, can suppress fear.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so then we're gonna go to the alien ship, and then we get the best scene in this whole show: Johnny and Ghostblade's road trip.
Oh my
God, that was so good.
It gave me like Goofy movie vibes.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Totally.
And I should
It's
mention
like-
this was like the one episode I did see in dub, because I mentioned that my sister and my brother-in-law also started watching the show, and they were over, and that's actually I did watch this episode in dub with them.
Not to go on a tangent, but somebody should like edit the scene where like Goofy and Max are in like the car, like towards the end of the movie. You know what I'm talking about? Where like, Goofy's kind of mad at his son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, I guess I'll give Little Johnny's perspective too, because Johnny's like looking at him, and he's like, he's not talking. Am I doing something wrong? I should say something and all that. And then, like,
So mean.
Oh my
It's like
god!
trying to come up with
Overthinking
anything to
everything.
talk to him about.
Oh,
Like,
God.
Johnny, please, Johnny, he can't talk.
And also, he doesn't like you.
The funniest. The funniest thing that came from this, I have to thank Steve for this, was someone did like the Undertale meme with the running over a deer, and they pasted Ghostblade.
Oh, the
driving
Deltarune
car.
meme, yeah.
It's with Ghostblade driving the car, and Johnny's the one on the run, and then and then Loli's able to find the person who's talking to Ono, and she's like, "He's behind us, get him!" And then
I will say, like,
And it
this
was
whole little-
awkward for everyone.
I will say, like this, like moment with like the four characters coming together definitely provided some of the best comedic moments in this entire show.
yeah, because then he's
Oh my
like, he's like,
Loli's
why-
dad being the worst kind of wingman.
Yeah, and everyone just thinking that, oh, he's
Yes,
just
you
in
are a
love with
father,
this
and I
girl over here. I'm
understand
like,
fathers have certain needs.
and then
No,
Yeah.
no.
no, yeah, and then like everyone all of a sudden like, hey, it's time for dinner, and then it's like, oh, my dad was never there for me, and then everyone's just sad. It was like, my dad is there for me, and they
And the
all just
fact
start
that they
crying.
all thought Ghostblade was into his own daughter, like,
Yeah.
no,
I mean,
no.
I'm sure he loves his daughter, but not like that.
Yeah, he's
No.
like, do you love her? I can't say no. I do love her. But not like that. It's like, dude, Ghostblade, please write it down. Write it down,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
Pen,
Oh my
pen,
god.
Paper,
Oh my god.
pen, paper. It
Please.
exists.
Yeah,
You
but
don't
then
need to
like
use technology for everything.
and then everyone starts crying, and DJ Shindig, hopped up on that fear, decides to crash the party, and Ghostblade's the only one that I guess isn't affected, so he takes care of DJ Shindig and all that. And
it affects him a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I think he was hallucinating for a bit, but then so then he kills DJ Shindig. Lil Johnny's missing, and then we get into his story. Ghostblade killed Lil Johnny's dad. And then, well, the other thing too is that his Lil Johnny's dad was previous Hero X, and his mom was dying, and I think his dad was looking for a way to heal her or something. That's why he went to the alien
even
ship.
though he had healing powers, but they just didn't
he had
work.
healing powers.
And then him going on the alien ship, and that's where they find this little alien who Lil Johnny will then say that you're my son, you're Big Johnny. And all that, and then the first time Big Johnny transformed, and he looked like the monster from the earlier episode, is it's starting to make sense now. We were literally like, oh yeah, it's all coming together. And then Lil Johnny's whole thing, because then the next Hero X, I forgot his name, the dude with the tornado powers, comes in.
He showed up, was like, you need to come back, and he's like, no. I'm done with that. It's like, well. Okay.
And then Lil Johnny swears to become a hero to avenge his dad, but he never gets that revenge because he died on the plane accident, way back.
Yeah,
and
he died on the plane that Lucky Scion survived. Go for it.
And then
Which may have actually been an assassination.
Not if I don't know.
Well, not
an
assassination, but somebody made the plane crash.
Knowing this show, would be surprised if it was an assassination.
Probably. And then Johnny's all depressed, and then he meets Lucky Scion, he meets Queen, all that, and then we jump again to the current events, and he's all up hallucinating. He thinks he sees his dead dad, and then then the next day they're all good, and then they go to the ship. And then we learn a little tidbit. Ghostblade was ordered by Rock to kill Johnny.
See what I mean? It's always Rock's fault. It's always Rock's fault.
Always blame the Rock.
Yep.
Blame Rock.
So then everyone's in the ship, and also Loli has a little bit of an arc to where she's like, "Let me in, please." It's because the dad doesn't want.
Oh, it's too dangerous. You have to monitor the situation. It's I'm the one with the super armor.
Yeah. So then Lil Johnny gets lost. Ghostblade follows him, and you think he's about to kill him, but Esol shows up, and because apparently Rock didn't trust Ghostblade, so he sent Esol after him. But that's not the only person who decided to crash the party, because he was nice. The original nice.
He's not being very nice.
Yeah, nice is no longer that nice.
Which yet again, because I still didn't know this was
your party, so I can kill them.
Yet again, because I still didn't know this was in the past. I thought that was Lin Ling, and then I was like, "Wait a second, no, that's actual nice."
When I was like, "Is that Lin Ling? What happened to you, bro?"
Yeah, I was literally like, "What happened to you, man? Did Moonstead screw you up that bad?" And then no, that's actually original nice. And then we get to the
holy hell!
And then we get
anyone saw not OG Nice coming back. Or seeing OG Nice here.
Yeah. And then we get to the one episode a lot of us were looking forward to, because if you looked at that chart, it said episode 19 was a mystery episode. And we kind of had this suspicion that was like, okay, the mystery episode has to be some sort of crossover type thing, right?
We were all thinking it was a tournament or something at first.
No. But then, it turns out that episode 19 is titled The Ruins Incident, and a lot of the stuff that we were seeing in the past few arcs were kind of converging into this one moment. So, at the time when Queen's story ended with that random moment, we were like, what was that? And we thought to ourselves, well, this anthology is kind of collapsing on itself. And then the show told us, no, you don't understand, watch and learn. And God, we were wrong. Because we were just like, what's going on in here? And then Yeah, it's all coming together. So now we get to the ruins incident. This is where we really start learning a lot more. Like we start learning a bit about Original Nice. He works for Shand, who his perception of tongue twister, his perfection persona was crafted with fear, because Shand didn't take his son's death all too well, and he has it out for Rock. And you see, and he uses Nice to enact his revenge. So like he sends Nice to the ruins to like stop the whole thing, because Shand is the one that's, I don't want to say he's the sole one, but he's definitely part of the reason why fear is out there. And yeah, so Nice goes to stop it. So then we get this fight between Nice and Lowly, which I wasn't expecting. But then we also get Ghostblade and Johnny team up against Isol, and it's just insane. And my mind was just racing all over the place. And then eventually, it was literally like things go from bad to worse, because like all of a sudden, like Lowly's childhood friend, he's dead. Nuo and her dad are like cornered, and like it's not looking good. And then Big Johnny goes all monster, which explains the end of Queen's story. And then here comes Queen to shut it, to tell everyone to stop. Like it was literally like it's literally everyone's like out for each other, and it's like, how the heck is this gonna stop? And then Queen literally just makes everyone stop. And then like she literally, like her and Lucky Cyan come in to bail everyone out. And yeah, that was the ruins incident, because then later Luo Li's dead, rip her father, and that what gives Lowly a spot on the hero ranking. And then and then it says Ghostblade resigns, but yet he's still in the top 10. Like I don't know how that happened, I think he resigned from the agency. But yeah, Ghostblade essentially resigns, and then Nuo's she's alive, but she's in a coma, I think it was, and pretty much it's not looking good for a lot of people. And then in the end of that episode, Rock has another plan up his sleeve, and that's Dragon Boy. But before we get to Dragon Boy, I feel like probably should actually our thoughts on the past this whole section. And yeah, so like when we ended with Queen and we were introduced to Lowly, I was like asking what, like this whole anthology, like it's really doesn't feel good. Like, like it was like,
yeah, I think if we're just going to discuss it as a whole, I think when we got to the middle part of the show, it kind of lulled for me a bit, where I'm like, I'm not really into this whole anthology thing anymore, because one, Queen, and then the next arc after that was a little too short. So I think for me, it's just like these things need to have at least 3 episodes each to give enough time to these characters. But when we get to like Ghostblade and we get to Little Johnny and Big Johnny's story arcs, it kind of all clicked for me. It's like, okay,
it's all coming together.
It's all coming together now. But if you're just watching this casually, week to week, not knowing what's going to happen next, and it just keeps randomly going to a different story arc, it just feels disjointed and disconnected at a point. But thankfully, it kind of all comes together in the end to kind of form something a lot more cohesive.
Yeah, like we were proven wrong, essentially. And I'm glad that the show, was proven wrong, because it's like, like we had a good thing going, and we kind of lost it for a minute, but then it came back, and it came back hard. Like, yeah, especially with the ruins incident, like that was just like,
yeah, that whole episode is just fantastic. It is probably like one of my top 10 favorite episodes of this show.
Yeah, even like the episode before it, setting up the ruins incident, was insanity in itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, well, I guess Steve, how do you feel about like the like Lowly, Ghostblade, Johnny, and then like just this whole section as a whole leading up to the ruins?
Yeah. As Sam mentioned, like we were all kind of feeling like, is it still really working? Because it absolutely lulled in like the middle of it, where it's like, all right, like get on with it type of thing. But slowly, it bit by bit, it was like, all right, this is starting to come together. Like I say, by the time we got to the arc of the Johnnies, it's when I realized, oh wait, now it's finally starting to come together, and this anthology thing is still working. And God, Nice coming back was a curveball I don't think any of us expected.
Oh yeah, and then in the end of the Ruins episode, I see Ling Ling in the building, and then that's when it clicked for me. It was like, this is all in the past. It literally took until episode 19
It took you
for me to
2
realize.
episodes to realize that this was all in the past.
Yes. Like when I saw Ling Ling in the building, I was like, wait a second, this is all in the past.
Come on. That blows my 20. Sam. But
I mean, like,
yeah. But anyway, that's when it for me it clicked for me. It's like, it's the real like evil behind all of this, and it kind of
is the hero.
It's the CEOs. The CEOs. Yes, the CEOs. They're all power hungry. They're behind a lot of
Wait, I completely forgot, but then you learn another important tidbit in this episode. Rock's father is the one who created Zero.
Yes, and we also learn here that Rock is a worshiper of Zero.
And he wants to bring back Zero.
Yes. Like, because you remember, and you learn a little bit about Zero here too, where, Zero was like one of the original, I'm not going to say Hero X, but like original hero who we learned killed someone, lost all his trust value, turned into fear. And because his trust value was so high, he was like a god in a way. And and that pretty much is set up, what eventually would happen later. But overall, like that Ruins incident absolutely won me back. It made me think, okay, this might actually be anime of the year.
Yeah, that was my feeling too. And then we were thinking at the time, we still got like a few more episodes with like 3 other people to talk about, like to see. But yeah, Sketch, how do you feel on like the past, like, this whole section as a whole, Loli, Ghostblade, and Johnny?
I like how it builded. Like at first, I was like, what are we doing here? Okay, so we're taking 2 episodes on each of these characters, but the story is continuing, and we're just kind of switching perspectives. Yeah, I wasn't quite sold on that at first, but then as you continue to go along, I was like, oh, that's actually hilarious that Ghostblade was the stalker the whole time, and all these other connections going on. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, I see. So even though it is like not focusing very long on a single character or a couple of characters, it's an arc, which I think that was a good thing. They probably shouldn't do the whole show that way, but I think this section worked in that regard.
Yeah.
And also, I really like that. Because he put his, he probably didn't even think about it, but because he put his jacket on his daughter, she saw his journal.
I forgot about that.
And we cleared up all that misunderstanding. She's like, oh my gosh, my father is out there. And he cared.
I thought that was like one of the best emotional moments in the show.
She saw that.
That really hit me right in my heart.
Yeah, she saw that, and they didn't outright say it. It's not like she went to him and was like, "You're my dad," but like she understood. And it's funny. You get a funny scene later where he's trying to cut carrots, and she's like, "No, you don't do it like that. You do it like this."
And then she leaves, and he cuts it with such precision. He's like, "Girl, I'm a professional butcher."
And then it's too bad she's in the hospital. It's too bad she's in the hospital now, and I really hope that she could wake up, because, oh god, like Loli and Ghostblade need her so bad.
Mm-hmm. But that's upsetting. But yeah, I think it's a good batch of arcs that built into each other, And spoiler alert, I really like Ghostblade. He might be my favorite character.
Oh yeah, I agree. Like out of all the story arcs for this little arc, Ghostblade might be my favorite.
Yeah, and also ended with Ghostblade. I think the Johnnies too resigning from their agencies.
Did Johnny resign? I think he was still there,
don't
but
remember.
he said he wants to train. Like he actually wants to like learn how to fight and all that.
I know.
Yeah, he's been complacent for a long time, ever since that one guy died.
Yeah,
he lost his motivation.
Yeah, he did resign. He resigned from Homo and joined VOS.
Because like that's the thing too, is that like you see all the other guys, they know how to fight and all that, but little Johnny really doesn't. He doesn't do any, like, not to say he doesn't do anything, but you don't know, combat wise what he's capable of. I mean, Big
They
Johnny.
say he can talk to animals, but the only reason that people think he can talk to animals is because of Big Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But in this world, if somebody believes you can talk to animals, you can talk to animals.
Mm-hmm. And an animal can talk, but we'll get there. But just any last words on this section before we move on? I know it's been going on a while. Don't worry, Sam. We're getting there.
I would say, of course, it ended with X. That's when we realized, wait a fucking minute.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
But also, I just wanted to say, because a lot of people were like, 3D's back. And it's like, no, you're an idiot. This is a recycled scene from the pilot. Because that's
when I realized, that's the moment I realized, wait a minute. The reason why the art style changes so much, it's because X is controlling reality.
I was gonna save this for later, but the best thing, his power is to make the animators cry. Like another person was like, what's his power? And someone says budget manipulation. But yeah, so then the ruins incident ends, and we got a tease that Rock has another plan up his sleeve, and in comes Dragon Boy. So now we got Dragon Boy here, and we start his episode by him swimming in an icy lake, and then he gets beat up by a bunch of guys, and then he's just like, "You're all trash," and then they just get beaten up some more, and then here's Rock once again to take another lost child under his wing to manipulate. Although, I don't know, I guess in Dragon Boy's case, he's fine with it. He's like, whatever. Is like
he wants to be Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He doesn't want to be X. He wants to be Zero.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Rock's like, I got you, kid. We're gonna have a good relationship. And Dragon Boy's whole thing is that he can take essentially no damage, but he takes damage and then converts it back to other people and all that. And so Rock's like, okay, we need to get you into the top 10. So who are we going to take down? It's like, I got it. We're going to go after Smile Man, which that was one thing that was mentioned way back in the start of the show, the Smile incident. And also, this is where we really start to actually, because this is Dragon Boy's arc, but at the same time, I would say this is also Nice, not the original Nice's arc, because this is where we really start to learn about the original Nice and why he jumped off the building. Because you really start to feel bad for him, because he was under Shand, and he's just made as a tool of revenge to get back at Esol / Rock.
I don't feel bad though. He does a lot of bad things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. At the time,
his idea for being a hero originally was that he was inspired by Smile, right? Mm-hmm. So he had good intentions, but unfortunately, those good intentions went to waste.
But yeah, and when I said feel bad, at the time, I feeling bad, but given later episodes, I feel like it's 50-50. It's both his and Shan's fault. But yeah, so Smile,
he was dealt a bad hand, but he had a choice.
Mm-hmm. So so then you start to see more of Nice, and then finally, for the first time in the show, we're halfway in, we actually get a real look at X himself. because he's friends with Smile, and Smile went to go
You
visit
actually
him.
wouldn't know that the first time too if you were watching it though, because it's like, well, this is just a random bystander that they're friends. Oh, okay. But it comes together by the end of the series because you know who X is at the end of the show.
Yeah, I just find it funny because the entire show, the commission's like, we need to take down X. He's like the most enigmatic. How is he still number one? And then we get a look at him and he's like, well, they could take the spot. I wanted to quit. They just kept delaying the tournament. He's literally like, bro, I'm just standing here. Take my place, please. For the love of God, I'll quit. Just let me. He's literally like,
why does he have the position in the first place? That's what I want to know.
I just find it funny too because like, oh, you think he's like this omnipotent guy, and then here he is getting drunk, and then he's got his little sleepy mask on. I was like laughing my ass off when he passed out, and then he had the sleepy mask on, and I'm just like, this dude's funny as hell. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I swear I thought he worked at a newspaper, but it wasn't a newspaper.
Yeah. Also, in English, he's
because
voiced by.
If he did work at a newspaper, that would be way too Clark Kent.
Yeah. Also,
no way, he actually is just
oh my
anime Clark
God.
Kent.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's
Oh my God.
He's My Adventures with Superman.
I didn't think about that. Oh my God. But yeah, he's also voiced by David Matringa, aka Todoroki in My Hero, and Dr. Skinner in Lazarus, which is double funny because in Japanese he's voiced by Axel.
Yeah, I think I pointed that out. Yeah, he's Axel's Japanese VA.
Whereas Dr. Skinner is Ahu.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, was Spike's
Oh my
favorite.
God! Wait,
That's-
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
That's
that's
Yamadera.
amazing. But yeah,
It's
so
Chris
then like,
Sabat in the dub, and
yeah, it's Chris Sabat.
it's so good.
God,
yes.
Chris Sabat.
Yeah. So yeah, then we move on, and Dragon Boy confronts Smile, and we're like, you know what? His name is Dragon Boy, and I believe that name, a true monster, because he has his daughter's locket, which is like she always has that on herself. So what did they do to his daughter? And that man pissed off dad right there. And another beautifully animated segment, like the whole like Smile versus Dragon Boy thing, and yeah, like that whole sequence. And then Nice coming in, and then it turns out Shand gave him a vial of fear, which is also like comes from dogs or something. And yet again, like, because we get another look at Nice's backstory, and one of the most haunting
It doesn't come from dogs. They were testing it on dogs.
I know. One of the most haunting scenes in the show was Nice struggling on what to do, and then you get the puppetry like scene.
Oh, that scene was
like,
so good.
Yeah, where he's like,
That's
he's being
honestly one of my
manipulated.
favorite scenes in the entire show. The puppet imagery for Nice.
Yeah, like it really starts making sense why he ended up jumping. But like, so then he hits Dragon Boy with the vial, and you think he's gonna hit Smile. No, he hits Dragon Boy, and then Dragon Boy flips that back on the Smile, and poor Smile, God, poor Smile. Like, this was just a nice man that they just, yet again, it's Rock's fault. And yeah,
Everything
so then
is Rock's fault. I'm not wrong. Everything is Rock's fault.
And then Dragon Boy goes dragon mode. Like, I guess like his parents drowned him underwater, and then he'll Smile. Like,
Man,
and
they're so screwed up.
yeah,
Like, you can last longer. Like,
Like,
gave up.
these,
oh my God,
like, out of all the parents we've seen in Super Hero X, they're absolutely the worst ones.
yo, yeah. And then he has this whole thing about like trash people, trash beings, y'all are trash, and it's because his mom was like, he's such
Weirdo?
a piece of trash, and it's like that's where he gets it from. And then nice because then it becomes this messed up scene to where like not like, oh hooray, Dragon Boy took down the bad guy. Why is Nice fighting him? That's mean. He's against, like, wow, screw Nice and all that. And it's just
These
like,
people are idiots.
yeah. And then like, yeah, we get this nice fight between Nice and Dragon Boy, and you think Dragon Boy's about to go in for the kill, and then here comes X, shows up. And this is when we started seeing 3D again, and I was like that scene from How to Train Your Dragon. It's like, you're as beautiful as the day I lost you. I was like, it's 3D again. Oh my god, there he is. And then we get like one of the best scenes where he's like, I hate working overtime. This sucks, man. And then,
relatable.
And then he just snaps his fingers, and then he just curls them up like paper, and there we go.
I laughed
really ends it.
so hard at that moment where he quite literally folded Dragon Boy.
Just
Yeah.
fold him up and toss him into the river.
Yeah, Dragon Boy got folded literally.
Yeah. And then the end of the episode, a tearjerker, when X goes to the corpse of Smile and he's mad, and then you see Nice breaking down in tears, like, didn't smile because he still had his smile even when he's dead. And it's like, Jesus Christ. And then two things you learn from that. One, it becomes clear why Nice jumped off the building, and two, you messed with X. Like, the man was ready to quit, but now you took out his best friend, so now he's got a reason to stay now. It was like, and it pretty much like, you brought this on yourselves now. And yeah, so then we move on to our final two episodes. We then focus on Ahu, or wait, well, yeah, no, like, I was gonna ask you all thoughts, but I'll wait till the end. We move into Ahu, and he's the dog. And it's funny because he was one of the first characters shown. Like, he was in the opening, and he was even in the pilot. So I'm like thinking to myself, what is the dog gonna do? And then it's funny because we get
What
like,
the dog doing?
what the dog doing?
What that dog
His
doing?
voice. He's
Sketch,
voiced
you know,
by-
ball. We
He's
said it
voiced
at the
by Chris-
exact same time.
But yeah, so like his whole thing is that he's a circus dog, and he did like a bunch of tricks and all that, but he bit one of the and he bit one of the audience. Was it one of the audience? Yeah, like, and
Yeah,
then
It was a kid who was petting him too hard.
and then like they put him in the shelter, and then here comes this girl called Shinya, who loves Ahu and decided to take him, and she's like wanting to make him a sensation and all that. And it's what's funny because it's like she literally records him, and here she goes in like Sony Vegas, Adobe.
It's
so putting the Super Saiyan.
weird. This story was like so weird because it's kind of like a lighthearted thing, which I guess makes sense because we have to like make it a little bit more lighthearted compared to like the previous episodes. But it's a kind of follows in that line of it's kind of a disjointed in a way.
Yeah,
but
and
then-
it's also such a dramatically different art style than
Yeah.
everything.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I wanted to touch on that. The art style dramatically changed for us.
Very
Yeah,
different.
And I was like, where was this the whole time? Because we were kind of stuck in the same filter for a while, when like yet again one of the things I loved about the show in the start was the constant changing of the art styles. And here it was finally back, and 2 episodes till the end, but still.
And Lolly's and Ghostly's arc, I swear it just looked like Link Click. It just looked exactly like Link Click.
Yeah,
Probably the
It's time
same.
to watch Link Click.
please
Oh,
do.
the
It's really good.
animators.
But yeah, well, it's the same studio, and the creator is also the same person too as
Yeah.
Link Click. But yeah, so then like their town or their section.
So
of
yeah,
town
like
is
it's like
the
a whole
deed.
like save the town plot where the
Mhm.
dog basically has to ward off the mafia or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's a weird story arc. I have
There's-
no real idea why. I mean, I understand why it's here, but it feels so out of left field for this show.
Yeah, I just find it funny that like because then
Can't do
because
explain
this
the
is
talking
where
dog somehow.
yeah, this is where the events of the pilot kicked in, because like in the pilot you just saw the mafia toss out the dog. It turns out that he was trying to get the deed back, and then oh, this is where X was here the whole time, and then this is where he flexed on them. And yeah, so then and then Shinya's,
yeah, because a big corporation was trying to buy them.
Yep,
buy
Tree
Yeah.
Man. Good old Tree Man.
Yeah, because then like later you see Shinya on the ground and you think she's about to bite it. Oh, hey, Nice shows up, and Ahu at first he's like, "Oh, a hero will save the day. Finally, thank you." And he's like, "Hey, buddy, I need those documents you got there." And he just stands aside. Like that's when I really started to hate him. Now I was like, because at first I felt bad for
I'm
him.
glad you fell
But
off.
then, because before this episode, I felt
I'm
bad
glad
for him.
you killed yourself.
But then when this episode came, that's when I was like, okay, no, man, you brought this on yourself. Just standing aside while you let a dog and a girl like get beaten. And thank God that he managed to get a bit of trust in there to swipe that axe right back at him. And then Nice got hit with that fear too. Is like, eat fear, bitch.
He's like, no fear.
And the fact that he actually went to his CEO and say, "Hey, I've been impacted by fear. Please do something." He's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do
It's
anything.
like,
You're on your own now."
And then he's like, "You do realize a dog took your spot. You're worthless now." And this led to his jump. That led to him jumping. So we learned
it's all connected.
It's just funny. Someone said, "Oh, so Nice's 13th reason why was a dog overtaking his spot in the ranking."
Evidently.
But yeah,
Good boy.
yeah. And also, Ahu can talk now because that's what the
That
trust
is never
value did with
explained in
him.
the show. How?
I think, I'm pretty sure it was the trust value.
how is he able to talk now? Is it his
It
hat?
has to be the trust value.
Never
It's the trust
explained that.
value. It's it's the trust value, and because everybody believes he took down the whole mafia.
Yeah.
And he lied, even though he got a little help from somebody.
Mm-hmm. Which, speaking of somebody, it's time to talk about him. Final episode, we finally focus on X himself, and we finally pick up where Lin Ling left off. So, like, the end of the show, we finally learn what happened after that. Yeah, for everyone that was assuming Moon was alive, take the L. She's dead.
Oh, she did.
And
I mean,
like,
it's not really confirmed, is it? Or was there
I
a news
think
report that she...
There was
I
a news
forget.
report that she's gone, that she died.
Oh, okay.
and
was,
that Lin Ling signed with Treeman.
Damn,
And
Lin
then-
Ling!
And then Dragon Boy was pardoned for his actions, and yeah, and it was also because yet again this whole episode was 3D again. I was immediately like, "You're as beautiful as the day I lost you." But like, because now we finally get to focus on X for once, and he ain't taking his friend's death too well. Like, he got 2 cans of beer, and he was like, "This is for you, buddy." With the skewers and everything, and then Ahu's like, "We gotta take him down. Let me do this. I'll follow him," and all that. And then this is where the animation really started flexing, because then X knows Ahu's there.
The whole shift in like different art styles and animations with every like snap of the finger for X. So like that's probably the most impressive scene of animation I have seen all year. And
Yeah.
I've been watching like Yaiba Weekly, and that show has some really good animation. But like To Be Hero X, just like it meshes all the things that you kind of saw from like the beginning of the show all the way at the end, and it kind of flexes on that very well. Just kind of showing off like how talented this team is, at like how great their animation skills are by just blending of 3D and then hand-drawn work, and then just doing different art style changes like it's nothing.
Yeah, like that whole scene of X literally flexing on everyone. And I can't be the only one that thought this. Did anyone else think that they sent Mario and Sonic after him? Because like the guy with the rolling ball power, that's Sonic. And then you got these pair of legally distinct brothers.
They are totally the Mario brothers.
Yes, that's what I thought. And then someone was like, "Oh, cool! Knockoff Easel is gonna fight him too," because like Rock sends this one guy, and you think he's Easel for a second, and it's someone else.
I did notice, and someone brought this up online. someone's theorizing one of the people that was sent after it might have been Rek, like just insanely impacted by fear.
Oh,
Yeah, like
maybe that was Rek. Yeah.
The one that was able to slip past his reality bending powers.
The guy with like the crazy face.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. Yeah, I think it was him. Yeah, people are theorizing that that's Rek.
Yeah, and
maybe.
and then we get that car chase scene, which that was like amazing too. And then we get the bar. Can I just say, I really hope that this is a real product. Like, he drinks these cans that have X on it, and I'm like wondering, he's like, is this beer or is this soda? Like, what are you drinking there, buddy?
I think it's an energy
Yes.
drink.
And I was just like, can this be a real product? I will spend tariff money just to import that, please.
They have to take it on first.
Oh.
But yeah, so then he has a fight in the bar, but then we really get blown away because it's like everything it was like our minds being blown away, because then he starts showing off the dominoes and everything starting to make sense. Like Moon getting shot, Ghostblade was trying to stop Isol, but he was too late. And then everyone's stories, because then like Zero never actually perished. It was like they sent him away or something, or they I forgot what it was, but Zero never died. And Rock's And Rock's whole thing is that he wants to bring Zero back, and the chain of events from Yang Chen, pretty much like everything that we've seen before, really started making sense here, and everything. And then like we conclude, I hate this so much, where the season ends, because here comes the next tournament, and we see everyone that we've been following. Also, except for
one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so yeah,
Isol.
this is where
and I learned something about that in a recent interview. Why Isol wasn't there? Because that was based off the current Billy rankings, and they didn't. And Isol was not in the top 10
because he's a fraud.
He's a fraud.
But then another bombshell, Original Nice lived.
Yes.
What the
hell?
Yeah, that's so weird, and I don't think that's.
And it's kind of our fault why not the Original Nice is still alive, because we kept voting for him. Like you can see in his face, like the cracks of fear. And over on his body. Hell, if you even go to the Billy website now, his new image is with him with fear.
And yet we get to the tournament, and I just want to say real quick, because this is the first time we get a look at some of these guys in the 3D style. I know I said I missed the 3D, but some of these guys look kind of cursed being in 3D. the one Lucky Cyan stuck out to me the most. Like, wow, she does not look good.
Yeah, several of the
3D did not do her justice.
Do not translate well. And
I'm like kind of scared to see what Loli looks like, because you only see her in the suit.
You only see her in the suit. I don't want to see her face.
But Johnny and Big Johnny look cursed. Well, Big Johnny looked cursed.
Big Johnny looked cursed. Little Johnny was fine.
Little Johnny was fine.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. Like the transition to 3D for some of those characters don't really pan out all that well, which is. I think it would have been interesting to have like be for Lucky Cyan to be like cell shaded, maybe have like different art direction for the CG models. That'd be interesting than having it be all uniforms. But
Dragon Boy and Queen, they look fine. But yeah, so then like this episode ends because Ahu asks him, what do you plan to do? And he's like, I'm gonna change fate, or am I gonna change the hands of fate or whatever? And then he shows up in the middle of the tournament in his civilian look, and that's where it ends. And then we get a music video, which is supposed to be partially X's backstory and partially future events, which I'm just like, brother, if we do not have a second season for any of this.
Speaking of, I think that is going to be the opening for season 2.
I really hope there's a second season, because it's just like the way that ended.
You notice the music changed as well.
Well, yeah. Oh, and that was the other thing. The open, because it was a new open. It's the same song,
same opening,
but it was sung by both. And I'm just like, like this is great, and just the music video itself was good too. But yeah, and I really, because the thing is that they spent all this time building up these guys, and now what I hope for if we see season 2 is actually seeing them interact with each other. Because it's like, first off, you got Ling Ling and Original Nice in the same room. You know that there's like beef there.
That's even like implying that Nice will even have his memories.
Yeah.
Well, also, yeah, and that's another thing. Everyone in the top 10 except for Lucky Cyan has beef with Nice. Everyone has beef with Nice.
Yeah, I sent like a
all my
chart
homies
of,
hate
like,
Nice.
Yeah, there's like a beef chart, and almost every single hero has some type of beef with Nice.
The
Except
only
for Lucky
exception
Cyan.
is
Lucky
Lucky
Cyan
Cyan.
is very unproblematic.
Yes, we love Lucky Cyan.
But yeah, that's where they chose to end it, and I'm pretty sure it's all but confirmed for a second season because they
Pretty
can say-
much.
although
I would
I'm
love-
already gonna.
I don't
I'm
know.
already-
After today's Panty and Stocking episode, I don't know.
Yeah, I just love how a few days later after this aired, I got a text from my sister saying I need cliffhangers.
The thing is, I hope we get a second season, but I don't see that happening soon because A, the amount of time this season took to cook, and B, their next year's like Link Click season 3, which they're probably going to focus on that. But like still, as a whole, like when the final episode aired, I was like, anime of the year. This is my anime of the year, hands down. So I guess this is where we like just give the final thoughts. But yeah, the way that last episode wrapped everything around, I was immediately like, this is insane. And then this is definitely one of the best shows of the year. And the thing is too, is that like, I was thinking back to a moment where in the tier list, when we were talking about My Hero Academia, Logan made a good point that's like, oh, the stuff that it was doing unique early on just kind of fell and it started feeling generic. And I'm thinking too, because the thing was, My Hero at a time was kind of doing that whole thing where it was trying to like deconstruct Hero Society, but then it kind of like stopped doing that. And then like 2B Hero X just comes in out the gate, like pretty much doing what My Hero couldn't, in a sense. And yeah, I was, God, like just amazing. And just the like the touch of Dragon Boy, Ahu, and X. X is just like freaking. We still don't know much about him, despite finally getting screen time. But yeah, I'd have to say this is definitely my show of the year. Sam, what is your overall thoughts on the show as a whole?
I think the show is fantastic. I always recommend people to check out 2B Hero X because it is an anthology series, and to me, I knew nothing about like the pilot or anything like the hero ranking system or anything like that. You can just go into this and just have a good time because it's a very well written and well directed show. I think the criticisms that we brought up is that I do think that when you get to the middle portions of the show, it starts to lag a bit, but then it picks up again in its second half, and it becomes a lot more cohesive, and it actually ties everything together in the end. But I certainly do think this is like one of the best shows of 2025. I don't know if it's my show of the year. I have to really think about that because there has been a lot of really solid anime and television shows for this year. So, but I really enjoyed 2B Hero X.
Steve?
I am so glad you put me onto this show. I really am. Like,
yeah.
2B
sorry.
Hero X, hold on. 2B Hero X is one of the more unique shows I've ever seen. Well, especially when it comes to like the animation, like I'd say it's one of the most ambitious shows I've ever seen as well. I don't think I've ever seen an anime like try to change up the art style so much and actually have a reasoning why there's so much change to its art style. And yeah, although like the middle portion lagged a little bit, it absolutely picked up when it actually all came together on like episode 19, episode 20. And the fact that the Billy charts, like if we do get a season 2, is going to impact season 2. I mean, it already impacted the final episode. It's incredible. And I guess after discussion, I'll read off like where we currently stand on the Billy chart, because I do have it of where the current heroes rank on the chart. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. And at this minute, this To Be Hero X is my anime of the year.
Same here. I just wanted to briefly mention that typically whenever I'm bad, I have bad luck when it comes to show recommendations for other people, because typically the response is I recommend the show, let's not watch that, or it turns out that it's ass, well, not ass, but like not as good, and like I actually have a win under my belt. It's like, because I was the first one to watch it, and I was immediately like, y'all gotta check this out. And it's like, I'm actually glad I have a win. But Sketch, how do you feel after the show wrapped up?
I think it's a fantastic show. I don't think it's out of line to say it's potentially a better superhero society story than either My Hero Academia or Tiger and Bunny, and I love Tiger and Bunny.
I have not seen Tiger and Bunny.
Neither have I. I've never seen that show.
I have not seen it either.
But what really sets it apart from both of those series and pretty much anything else is the anthology nature, where, okay, so you have a ton of heroes and you're following each of them a little bit, and that's really interesting compared to both of those shows, that even though Tiger and Bunny does have other heroes that intersect with Tiger and Bunny, it's the Tiger and Bunny show. It's all about mostly what's up with Tiger and sometimes what's up with Bunny. And then, of course, My Hero Academia, it's all about Deku. So that, and One Punch Man is a little bit more like this because Saitama is constantly out of the action. But this gives you such a better, like, if there's a constant thing that bugs people about My Hero Academia, is like, oh, there's all these cool characters and they don't get to do anything.
I recently read Vigilantes, actually, and that one
Vigilantes is really good.
That actually does what you just said, but
it still has the same kind of problem that it just focuses on a couple of characters, and that's fine.
Off topic.
But when imagine Justice League, but it only focused on Superman the whole time. Mm-hmm. That would be frustrating.
Yeah.
So I think a show that pulls off more of a Justice League Unlimited kind of thing is awesome. I think that's fantastic. And it was really refreshing as far as, an Eastern interpretation of superheroes. And it's also such a great deconstruction of a superhero society, the expectations of becoming a hero, how society can affect you directly because of the way the trust system and the fear works. It's a great concept, and they did not flounder exploring the concept, because plenty of shows would be like, this is a cool concept, but we're just not gonna do anything interesting with it. But this show did. This show did a lot of interesting things with it, and I think it's overall really fantastic. It's probably one of the best shows of the year. Maybe top 5, maybe even top 3. I don't know. I actually haven't seen.
I would have to sit down and really think about it for if I do a list this year, I might have to seriously think about what show is in my top 3. Yeah. I think for me, Dawn to Dawn would have to be up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
X would have to be in there as well.
Yeah, for me, it's To Be Hero X, Dawn to Dawn, and Orb on the Movements of the Earth.
Orb wasn't technically this year.
Technically, the second half aired this year, so I guess it counts. I don't know. All I know is it will not win Anime of the Year because Solo Leveling exists.
Yeah, I was I can't wait for this show to not win Anime of the Year.
Super good though definitely hard to get through at times. So you all mentioned that you feel it lulls in the middle, and I agree. but that is a problem that you don't really have if you are binging it.
Yeah, maybe that's
Yeah,
the problem
you're
because
not
we all
wrong.
watched it week to week.
We
If
did.
you watch it
so-
week to week, I could see that being a problem. My recommendation, if you want to check this show out, like, if you can, watch the first 4 episodes back to back to back to back. That'll give you a good taste for it. If it's not your thing, you'll know. But after that, watch the E-Soul arc altogether, and then the Lucky Cyan arc altogether, and then watch as many of those other middle episodes in a row as you can.
Queen all the way to Johnny is essentially like one bundled story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say for like against like the binge watching aspect is that it doesn't ruin the whole like oh my gosh moments of the show, but it does lessen it because it's like that anticipation of waiting a week for like that new episode.
Yeah,
those early episodes were killing us because they always ended like oh my god, like Shane getting shot,
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, all of those. I definitely still felt the cliffhangers because sometimes I just like okay, that's as many episodes as we can watch today. But it's like, oh, I can't wait to get back to see what happens next. It's like, wait, this has nothing to do with what just happened.
So my final question that I'm gonna ask everyone:
Hold on, before you
favorite
do that,
hero?
Before you
Oh,
do
wait.
that, mind up read off the current Billy chart.
Oh yes, go ahead.
Yes, please.
All right, so I'll start from the bottom all the way to the top. Currently outside the top 10 is Dragon Boy at 11.
Okay.
At
He's
10,
almost 11.
I know. Well, I guess shit's changed. I don't know. But anyway, at number 10, it's Loli.
Okay.
In 9th, it's Ahu.
Okay.
In 8th, we have the Johnnies.
Okay.
I thought he'd be higher. But anyway, in 7th, it's E-Soul.
Mhm.
Yes, E-Fraud is in 7th. 6th is Queen. And 5th is Ghostblade.
Okay.
4th is Lucky Cyan. Number
Okay.
3 is Nice.
What?
Yes, Nice is in 3rd.
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people?
I don't know.
He stood by while a little girl and her dog got beaten. Wow.
Yes, Nice is at 3. Well, the puppet himself is at 3. In 2nd is Lin Ling. And of course, number 1 is X himself.
Yeah.
There was a time where Lin Ling was number 1, and that changed very fast when we got closer to the end.
It changed
Honestly,
very
I
fast
don't
when we.
think Ling Ling should be number 1. I mean, he's.
I
cool,
agree.
Fine. He's a good guy.
Like, I agree with him being ranked high, but not number 1.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
way more
yeah.
interesting and more significant heroes here. I know Lucky Cyan is probably winning from popularity contest, but like she should be lower.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I like Lucky Cyan, but she really, out of everyone else, is not. Like I said this when we did her arc, but like she's really just there.
It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Like she has the happiest ending out of everyone.
Oh, she
Good
does.
for her.
Good for her. And people are theorizing, like, and I've been saving this for since. People theorize the moment where X gave that donation to Lucky Cyan is when he started getting his powers. People are theorizing that. I don't know how I feel about it.
Oh.
I don't know how I feel about it, but it's something to think about.
I'm not sure because
How old is X? Because
That's a good question.
he
I'm
was
pretty
an
sure he's
adult
gotta be
when he-
old.
when he gave.
He might
Yeah.
be an immortal being. We don't know.
We don't know.
I-
Well,
you know-
yeah.
You see a bit of his
Ghost and I
backstory
both
in that
heard
video.
He was an alien, but it turns out that's probably not the case.
No.
You see a
Full on
bit
a
of his
human.
backstory in that end video, like
Yeah.
because he there's a random woman who reads tarot cards to him, and stuff happens after that. But yet again, it happens so fast you don't know what's going on.
Yeah. And I still think that little music video is eventually going to be the opening for season 2. Will we get a season 2? All I know.
I think it's
know,
all but confirmed.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? But all I know is the chances of us getting season 2 of To Be Hero X are way better than Jujutsu Kaisen's chances of getting on Toonami. You knew I was going to have to sneak one in eventually.
Ouch.
I should also note.
One could say it's a coin flip.
I should also note I did make a fake Toonami promo for To Be Hero X because I plan on slapping that at the start of this before you know the actual discussion kicks off. It's like I already showed it to you guys. It's almost done. I just need to rearrange some of the voice lines, but yeah. Because it's like we're Toonami people, so I gotta do something Toonami related.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the real question now, favorite hero. For me, I have to say I am between X and Ghostblade. It kind of goes back and forth, but after having X's episode, I really love this man. What about you, Sam?
I think it would be the same thing, Ghostblade and X. Like, both of those characters are the most interesting in the entire show. I like their backstory. I like their skills as heroes. It's very interesting for both of them, and they're so contrastly they're different, and that's what I really like. But I would say for me it would be X and Ghostblade.
Steve?
For the longest time, it was Lin Ling. It was.
Yeah,
Lin
I know
Ling
you were Lin Ling stan.
I was. It was Lin Ling, and I'd say him. I'd say the Johnnies are also highly up there for me.
I feel like they need to do more though, because like, yeah, they were there for a good chunk of the show, but like, you know, them working as a hero, like we rarely see that.
True, but if you ask me now though, it's X. It's X. It has to be X. Like, the man literally folded a man. Literally folded a man.
He's got the power.
Like, the
he's got the power
he folded,
of animators.
Yes. He literally has the power of God and anime on his side.
He really does.
But yeah, like, the minute he literally folded Dragon Ball. I'm like, all right, I like this guy a lot.
Sketch, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to love X. He's so fun. But one thing that I really appreciate about him is, like, man, I hate overtime. Like,
I know
vibes, man.
The fact,
totally
the fact that the show ends with him clocking out to avoid overtime.
Yeah. I love that about him. So, you know, he's got really cool powers, no doubt about it. But, like, just the humanity of the guy as, like, yeah, all right, I got I got it, man. But yeah, I really like Ghostblade. His how awkward and funny he could be just because he can't talk. And you know, it's just he just wants to be a good dad. He's trying his best.
Oh, God.
You gotta appreciate that. I just it's unfortunate that he's killed a lot of people for not good reasons.
Yeah.
I just hope that if we do have a second season, that, you know, like, there's a bit of closure with the whole, like, thing with him and Nuo or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, give the man some sort of good ending there,
please.
And I do have one more question for all of you. If you had to vote on Bilibili's website today, who are you giving your trust value to?
Probably X.
Yeah, probably X.
I'm giving it to Ghostblade, man. X is gonna get plenty.
Yeah, it's probably X for me as well.
I'm voting for the underdog.
Sketch is the odd one out.
I'm giving it to Isol.
Oh, not the
Rod.
I mean, I'd rather give it to him than Nice.
Oh, God. But yeah, that's like the one thing I'm anticipating, because the thing is that with this whole season, the season was spent setting up these guys. So now we need to see these guys converge. Like, you know, I don't want to say do some Avengers stuff, but like, you know, like get these guys to meet.
Well,
up
there's aliens. We know there's aliens, so aliens could come and attack, and then the heroes have to team up.
I just find it funny. There was one funny post I saw online because the show has a lot of promotional art and stuff like that, where the cast are like hanging out together. And then someone said it's so funny how the promotional art shows everyone hanging out together when in reality these guys do not fuck with each other,
Well, except for
Lucky Cyan because she really has no beef with anyone.
well, I mean, Lucky's friends with Johnny and
Queen.
You know, they homies.
I think
But-
we've reached the end of this discussion.
Yeah, so I know this went on long, and I'm sorry, Sam. I was trying to rush it for you.
I'm
but
just glad we started as early as we did, or otherwise
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
dying
glad
right now.
about that too. But yeah, so this is where we reached the end of the discussion, and yeah, I mean, like, yet again, this was just a case of this is a good show. We want to talk about it, but yet again, like, we're kind of relegated to Toonami podcasts and all that. So I'm just like, well, I did one on Lord of the Rings. Why don't I just do one on this show? And yeah, but yes, I'm not going to plug my stuff because this is coming from my channel. But you know, just more Toonami promos, I guess, that I upload, and maybe more of these discussions because I really like doing these and I want to do more of them. But yeah, Sam, where can we find you?
You can find me on Blue Sky at S is the Universe. I'm currently working on a few Toonami Squad articles.
Steve, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Zenvest. That's XNVEST.
You got that X in your name. You already knew. And Sketch, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Sketch1984 or look up Sketch1984 on Blue Sky. And of course, listen to my podcast at soundcloud.com/Toonami Faithful Podcast. That's right, soundcloud.com, the same place they found the encrypted clinical trials on Lazarus.
Yeah. I forgot that was a thing.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you again for tuning into this. And yet again, y'all just have a good one. See ya.